So, hello, good morning, everyone. This side Bhavna here, and we are today, as already Mosam spoke, like we are host and ghost. We welcome you today on this Sunday morning, and a huge round of applause for you. कोई अपनी नींद छोड़ के आया, कोई अपने काम छोड़ के आया, but thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. Okay, so by today, like what an exciting day today it is. Like we are here to learn and to like a new topic of HR Synergy Meetup, which is like if everyone can see the talent equation, hiring smart and retaining right. In today's topic, which truly shapes the future of workplaces. In today's fast-paced work, I can say we all know that talent is everything. Being an HR, we know like talent है जिसकी हम hiring करते हैं, जिसे हम retain करते हैं, and जिसे हम smartly use भी करते हैं. We as an HR, we are having, I can say, everything which is like hiring, retention, smart working as well. So attracting top talent is like finding a rare gem जो हम already करते हैं, like daily everyone post new openings, new I can say work, everything new, but keeping them it's like a rare gem where there the real magic happens. So because today let's face it, at like great teams don't build companies, it build the legacies as well. So for today, we have a packed agenda filled with new learnings, which is thought-provoking discussions and game-changing strategies. So are you all ready to dive in it the same? Yes.
Are you ready? ऐसे yes नहीं. Are you ready?
Are you ready? I guess. Sunday को सुबह को उठाया है, माना है, but थोड़ी energy रखिए, okay?
Don't treat it as daily scrum meeting, huh?
Yeah.
To-do list नहीं बोलना है. So let us say like before we go ahead, काफी लोग first time आए. So I would like invite Paras from HR Circle to introduce you people to the entire legacy of HR Circle. Please, Paras, stage is yours.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you are doing well. It's very exciting to be in a room full of HR professionals. But let's face it, we are the ones who are shaping the workplaces for today and tomorrow. Before we dive in, let me ask you, how many of you know me already? And how many of you have met me in any of the HR community events? Okay, pretty much the same. All right, so for those of you who you haven't, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Paras, and like many of you, I'm deeply passionate about building great workplaces. Over the years, I have had opportunity to connect with amazing HR professionals. Few of them are over here already, and exchange ideas, learn from real-world challenges, and that's exactly why I'm excited about today. Because this room is filled with people who are driving change in HR, and that's where HR Circle comes in. HR Circle isn't just another event. It's a community. What we are trying to do is we are trying to build a space where HR professionals come together to share, learn, and grow from real experiences. We all know HR isn't one size fits for all. And that's why we built this platform to exchange ideas, tackle challenges, and shape future of HR together. Our journey started with a vision to bring HR professionals to closer, to move beyond the theories, focus on practical real-world solutions. This version was brought to life by our incredible founders. You can see them on the screens, Vinny and Devang Bhai, to move beyond the theories and who believed in creating a learning-driven HR community. So kudos to them. But it's just isn't about them. It's the people behind this initiative who make HR Circle what it is. Here are all the contributors who have played a key role in making this community stronger. I'll give a cheer to them as well. And speaking of strength, we are proud to have grown into thriving network with 2,000 plus members on LinkedIn, 1,000 plus in our WhatsApp group. That's the power of collaboration and shared learning. no matter which industry we come from, we always face the same challenges. Employees today seek more than just a paycheck. They want culture, flexibility, and purpose. And as a HR professionals, it's on us to make this happen. But remember, this isn't just a sit back and listen event, it's a conversation. So ask questions, share your insights, and make the most of the knowledge in this room. To keep it seamless, we'll be using Slido during our panel discussion today. We'll share the code later on as well, but if you want to enter it right now, you can go to sli.do. I'll wait for a time if you want to log in or go search the URL, sli.do. And the code is 4631427. I'll repeat, the code is 4631427. You can also give a thumbs up to the questions you would like to prioritize. So let's dive into, yes. sli.do, Slido. And the code is 4631427. All good? Yeah. It's there on the screen if you want to refer. All right, now let's dive into the discussions that will shape how we approach talent. And of course, we'll wrap it up with some delightful lunch and great networking. Because what's an HR event without meaningful connections? Let's make this Sunday worth it. Thank you.
Thank you, Paras. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Paris, for making all the HR feel like, yes, we are something and we are sitting here. So now we have a partners over here today. And so there is a partner one, which is PDEU, whose I would say everyone is aware about, I guess, PDEU. It is very famous in Ahmedabad, everywhere, I would say. So let's take a moment to appreciate our valuable partners, AMA, PDEU, Wow Nandi, Smart Lions, and HR Circle in association with, I can say, Smart Lions as well. Okay. Today we will have a, I can say, small intro of PDU. There will be showing a short clip video, so you can understand it more for the same. Thank you.
So here we had a small presentation from PDEU. Now we would like to have Mr. Mahendra Bajaj from Vaunandi, and sir, thank you so much for having on the stage. The stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
Good morning. And Vande Gau Matram. What is Vande Gau Matram? We call it Vande Matram, right? But during Krishna time, जब हमारे त्रेता युग और द्वापर युग की बात करेंगे तो हमारी पूरी इकोनॉमी जो थी गाय के आगे पीछे चलती थी, तो इसलिए उस ज़माने में ओके फाइन फेयर इनफ या तो आज हम उसी तरफ आगे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. मैं थोड़ा वाव नंदी के बारे में बता दूं. वाव नंदी इस समय पूरे भारतवर्ष में जितनी भी गौशाला हैं उनको आत्मनिर्भर करने के पीछे अपना योगदान देना चाह रहा है. इस समय हम लोग भारतवर्ष की हर गौशाला को अडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं. अहमदाबाद में इसका पायलट प्रोजेक्ट असलाली से हम लोगों ने शुरू किया है. मकसद क्या है? भारत की जो इकोनॉमी है वो एग्रीकल्चर इकोनॉमी है, जो कहीं ना कहीं मल्टीपल फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंडेंट है और पिछले 100-200 वर्षों में कभी भी स्टेबल नहीं हुए, जिससे हमारे किसान लोग आत्महत्या करने के लिए प्रेरित हो जाते हैं, मजबूर हो जाते हैं। सरकार कामधेनु आयोग के माध्यम से एक ऐसी कोशिश में लगी है जिससे इकोनॉमी को एक सर्जन किया जाए। दुनिया के लगभग 57 देश काउ बेस इकोनॉमी में काम करते हैं, जिसमें आप ब्राज़ील का नाम सुनते होंगे, स्विट्ज़रलैंड, न्यूजीलैंड, ऐसे 57 देश हैं जो गाय इकोनॉमी पे चल रहे हैं। पर उनकी जो गाय है वो जर्सी है और A1 मिल्क वाली है, जो एक्चुअली मतलब काफ़ी चर्चा का विषय लंबा है, मैं शॉर्ट में कंप्लीट करता हूँ उसको। जिसका डायरेक्ट कंजम्पशन ऑफ मिल्क एक्चुअली इज हार्मफुल फॉर द ह्यूमन बॉडी, बट उसके बाय प्रोडक्ट आर गुड फॉर द ह्यूमन बॉडी। इसी तरह से हमारी जो देसी गाय है, जिसमें 32 नस्लें की हमारी गाय हैं, उनके जो भी प्रोडक्ट्स हैं तो वो हमारे शरीर के लिए, हमारे स्वास्थ्य के लिए बहुत अच्छे होते हैं। पर हमारी गाय का एक ही है कि 2-3 साल दूध देने के बाद उसको गोपालक पाल नहीं सकता। तो जब गोपालक उसको पाल नहीं सकता तो उसके पास 2 ही अल्टरनेट होते हैं, या तो उसको रोड पे छोड़ दिया जाए या तो उसको बेच दिया जाए। जब रोड पे छोड़ दिया जाता है तो भारत में रिकॉर्डेड 1.5 लाख एक्सीडेंट होते हैं, जिसमें से 10-20% पशु मर जाते हैं, 10-20% ह्यूमन लाइफ का भी लॉस हो जाता है। और जब गाय को कत्ल खाने में बेच दिया जाता है तो बिकम्स द रीज़न फॉर द ग्लोबल वार्मिंग। अब कहाँ गाय और कहाँ ग्लोबल वार्मिंग कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है, पर WHO का 2018 का रिपोर्ट है कि मीट कंजम्पशन ऑन दिस प्लेनेट इज़ द रीज़न फॉर द ग्लोबल वार्मिंग। वाई मीट कंजम्पशन? मीट कंजम्पशन से जो भी जब स्लॉटर हाउस में किसी को जानवर को काटा जाता है, उसकी बॉडी से मिथेन गैस रिलीज होता है, एंड मिथेन गैस इज द डायरेक्ट रीज़न फॉर द ओजोन लेयर डैमेज, एंड दैट कॉजेज द ग्लोबल वार्मिंग। आउट ऑफ दिस मीट कंजम्पशन 63% रीज़न इज बेसिकली फॉर द बीफ कंजम्पशन, बिकॉज गाय को या बीफ को जब काटा जाता है 1:10 रेशो में मिथेन गैस रिलीज होता है, डेट डैमेजेस द ओजोन लेयर। तो इस पूरे सिस्टम को, इसको सॉल्व करने के लिए पिछले 5 सालों से ग्लोबल कॉन्फेडरेशन ऑफ काउ बेस इंडस्ट्रीज, नेशनल इनोवेशन फाउंडेशन, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, सब मिलके हम लोग मंथन कर रहे थे कि इसको आगे कैसे लिया जाए, क्या किया जाए। तो एक IIT की रिसर्च के बाद समझ में आया कि पंचगव्य के बारे में यहाँ कितने लोग जानते हैं? मैं हाथ जरा देखना चाहूँगा। पंचगव्य एक ओनली एक। हम उस संस्कृति से बिलोंग करते हैं जो पूरे विश्व को रूल करती थी, और आज यहाँ बैठे हुए मात्र 1% को मालूम है कि पंचगव्य क्या है। ये हमारी आयरनी ऑफ लाइफ है। पंचगव्य है गाय का गोबर, मूत्र, दूध, दही और घी। हम सब लोग जानते हैं कि हमारा इकोसिस्टम जो है, हम लोग जब समझो इवॉल्व नहीं हुए थे तो हम जंगलों में रहते थे, और कुदरत ने हमारा सिस्टम क्या किया था कि हम ऑक्सीजन को इनहेल करते हैं और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को एक्सहेल करते हैं, और वनस्पति पेड़ क्या करता है? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को अपोजिट करता है। तो इकोसिस्टम था। पर धीरे धीरे हम 4 दीवारों के बीच में आ गए। 4 दीवारों के बीच में अभी इस समय हम जितने लोग बैठे हैं क्या कर रहे हैं? एक्सहेल क्या कर रहे हैं? CO2, और इनहेल क्या कर रहे हैं? O2। अब क्या होगा इस हॉल में थोड़ी देर के बाद? CO2 की मात्रा बढ़ जाएगी, बढ़ेगी, हमारा इम्यून क्या होगा? लंग्स हमारे क्या इनहेल करेंगे? सो इट इज़ अ गेटवे टू द डिजीज़। भीम 16 फीट का था, छत्रपति शिवाजी 8 फीट के थे, महाराणा प्रताप 8 फीट के थे, आज हम कितने के बच्चे हैं? 5.5 फीट के। उसका बेसिक रीज़न ये था कि हमने प्रकृति को छोड़ दिया। अब 4 दीवारों के अंदर इस प्रकृति को, हम ऋषि मुनि बहुत ही वैज्ञानिक थे, उन्होंने पंचगव्य का उस कंपोजिशन को किया, जिसको घर में उपयोग करने से हम यज्ञ करते थे। यज्ञ करने से क्या होता था? ऑक्सीजन की मात्रा बढ़ जाती थी, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एब्जॉर्ब हो जाता था। तो पंचगव्य का उपयोग हमारे घरों में, हर सनातनियों के घरों में होता था, जिससे कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को सोख लिया जाए, ऑक्सीजन को बढ़ाया जाए। और इसका बाय प्रोडक्ट क्या निकला? जो धुआं होता है वो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स, पैथोजेंस, जितने भी बैक्टीरिया, वायरस, एयर में हमको बीमारी फैलाने वाले कीटाणु होते हैं, उनको भी ख़त्म कर देता है, एंड दैट प्रोटेक्ट्स। तो हवन की मात्रा, हवन की साइज़ के हिसाब से उसकी ऑरा, उसकी रेंज विथ टाइम एंड लेंथ, मतलब 1 किलोमीटर से लेकर 12 किलोमीटर तक के एरिया को प्यूरीफाई करते थे, और 2 घंटे से लेकर 12 घंटे तक उसका हवा के अंदर उसका असर रहता था। इसलिए हम सुबह शाम हवन करते थे, इसलिए हम प्योर रहते थे और हमारा संस्कृति चलती आती है। बट ड्यू टू ऑल दिस इन्वेंशंस एंड ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस ऑफ एवरीथिंग, वी लॉस्ट अवर कल्चर, और हमारी संस्कृति से हम उसको मिटा दिया गया। अब 2016 के बाद इसके ऊपर रिसर्च हुआ। अब घरों में हम कहें कि यज्ञ करो, तो मुझे मालूम है 1000 में से 1 आदमी भी नहीं करेगा। टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है, कौन कहाँ से क्या लाएगा, एंड रेडीमेड का ज़माना है। हमें एक अंडर गारमेंट से लेके एक टोपी तक हर चीज़ अभी रेडीमेड चाहिए। किचन तक हमारे बंद होते जा रहे हैं, रेडीमेड किचन चाहिए, स्विगी जोमेटो से चाहिए। तो क्यों ना इस मॉडर्न ज़माने को उसी आधार पे हम लोगों ने पंचगव्य का किया। तो पंचगव्य के बेसिकली प्रोडक्ट हमने, वैसे तो 2000 प्रोडक्ट हमारे बन चुके हैं। मकसद एक ही है कि हर लाइफ में अगर पंचगव्य आ जाता है तो हम बीमारियों से बच भी सकते हैं, और बीमारियों को दूर भी कर सकते हैं। मतलब वी कैन प्रोटेक्ट अवर एनर्जीज, आई मीन नेगेटिव दिस थिंग। तो पंचगव्य के हमने क्या क्या चीज़ें बनाई, एक किट हम आपको अभी यहाँ पे दिखाएंगे। प्लीज़ किट दे दीजिए और वो पेड़ भी दे दीजिए एक। आज आप लोगों से मिलने का सौभाग्य मुझे प्राप्त हुआ, उसका मेन एक ही है, शायद कुदरत ने आप लोगों को चुना है इस प्रकृति के ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन में आपको साथ लेने का। ये कहते हैं ना, वैसे मैं थोड़ा सा अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे दूं। हरा का नाम किसने सुना है लेडीज़ में? हरा सलवार सूट्स का किसी ने नाम सुना है? वेरी गुड, थैंक यू। दैट इज़ माय कंपनी, आई एम इनटू हरा, दैट इज़ माय कंपनी, हरा सलवार सूट्स। उसके अलावा मेरा रियल एस्टेट का भी काम है, माइंस भी हमारे हैं। पर शायद मेरा कुछ कर्म होंगे पिछले जन्मों के कि मुझे इसमें चुना गया है, और शायद आपके कर्म होंगे कि आपको ये बात जो मेरे मुख से निकल रही है आप सुन पा रहे हैं इसको। क्योंकि गौ माता का काम करना, सस्टेनेबिलिटी, देश के लिए, समाज के लिए काम करना हर किसी को मौका नहीं मिलता है। तो हमने क्या किया कि हमने देखा कि 140 करोड़ भारतीय हम हैं, घर में हम सुबह शाम दिया बत्ती करते हैं। हर किसी के घर में गरीब आदमी घर जाएगा तो छोटा सा दिया तो करेगा ही करेगा। तो क्यों ना जो पंचगव्य का है उसको घर घर से किया जाए, ताकि घर के अंदर कम से कम लोगों को हॉस्पिटल में पहुंचाना तो रोका जाए। फार्मेसी इंडस्ट्री, या यूँ कह लें कि आज जिस तरह का माहौल चल रहा है, लॉबिंग चल रही है, उसमें एक ही काम होता है कि लोग हॉस्पिटल में कैसे आएँ, घरों से निकल के हॉस्पिटल में कैसे जाएँ। तो हम लोग आज ये काम कर रहे हैं कि लोगों को हॉस्पिटल कैसे जाने से रोका जाए। तो संस्कृति को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए हमने इस तरह की कुछ पूजा रिचुअल्स की किट्स बनाई हैं, जिसमें ये इम्यूनिटी बूस्टर हवन दियाज है। बेसिकली इसमें हवन की हर वो सामग्री डली हुई है जो हम हवन करने के लिए, इसको सिर्फ चालू कर दीजिए, 12 मिनट जलेगा, उसका धुआं 12 मिनट और होगा, आधे घंटे के अंदर आपका घर प्यूरीफायर हो जाएगा। दीज आर एयर प्यूरीफायर केक्स। इसके अंदर सेटनिना ऑयल, इक्लिप्टस ऑयल जैसे, जो कहते हैं ना मच्छर भगाने के लिए, संध्या के टाइम पे चालू करने का ये वो होता है। मच्छर तो हमको शाम को दिखाई देते हैं, पर माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म हमको नहीं दिखाई देते। मच्छर अगर होते हैं तो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म कितनी मात्रा में बढ़ जाते होंगे। दीज आर डिवाइन एंड वेलनेस टीलाइट कैंडल्स, दीज आर एरोमा थेरेपी स्टिक्स। आप इससे मेडिटेशन भी कर सकते हैं, लेडीज़ अपने बालों का स्पा भी कर सकती हैं। दीज आर एरोमा थेरेपी स्टिक्स, अगरबत्ती की रिप्लेसमेंट है। उसके बाद है वैदिक प्यूरीफाइड साम्रानी कप्स। ये प्रोडक्ट एक छोटी सी चीज़ है, यहाँ मैं प्रोडक्ट के लिए बात करने नहीं आया हूँ, यह मैं पूरी भारतीय संस्कृति, भारतीय परिवारों को बीमारियों से बचाने के लिए, एक इकोनॉमी को गायों को कत्ल खाने पहुँचाने से बचाने के लिए, उस काम के लिए मैं आपके पास आया हूँ। तो हम लोगों ने क्या किया है, इस चीज़ को बेसिकली कॉर्पोरेट गिफ्टिंग के लिए तैयार किया है। हमारे पास काफ़ी ऐसे अभी कॉर्पोरेट गिफ्टिंग के कॉर्पोरेट्स हैं जो इस चीज़ को कर रहे हैं, किन्होंने तो पूरे साल भर का ही कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दे दिया कि होली, दिवाली, हर तरह के फेस्टिवल में, काइंड जेस्चर्स में भी हम इसको कर सकते हैं। तो इस चीज़ को हम लोगों ने घर घर तक पहुंचाने का काम किया है। कुछ हमारे नेटवर्क मार्केटिंग, कुछ सब्सक्रिप्शन, अलग अलग मॉड्यूल्स हमने तैयार किए हैं। तो बेसिकली पंचगव्य को हमें आगे ले जाना है और हर घर की संस्कृति तक पहुंचाना है। इसके साथ साथ भारत एक और चीज़ से दुविधा में है। आपने देखा होगा सेव द सॉइल मूवमेंट एक चल रहा है। क्यों? क्योंकि हमारी सॉइल जो है वो डेजर्ट में कन्वर्ट होती जा रही है। आज यहाँ जितने लोग हम बैठे हुए हैं, हमारा दायित्व है कि हमारे जीवन से लेकर मृत्यु तक हमें कम से कम 422 पेड़ लगा के जाने हैं, तब जाके हमारी थर्ड जनरेशन को खाना और पानी हम पहुंचा पाएंगे। ठीक है? आपको मालूम है, किसी को मालूम है आपके एवरेज आपने कितने पेड़ लगाए अभी तक? कोई एक जना बता सकता है? पेड़ किसी ने लगाया अभी तक? किसी ने पेड़ कितने लगाए सर आपने? चलो 8, 10, 12, 15 लोग हैं। इनकी भी एवरेज अगर आपको काउंट करूं तो सबने मिला के मात्र 28 पेड़ लगाए अभी तक। 422 के सामने हमारी एवरेज 28 पेड़ों की है। हमें 396 पेड़ और लगाने हैं। मैंने काफ़ी ट्री फॉर लाइफ के मूवमेंट किए हैं, हज़ारों पेड़ लगाए हैं, हज़ारों मूवमेंट में शामिल हुआ हूँ। पर जब भी पेड़ की कोई मूवमेंट होती है, 1000 पेड़ लगाने के बाद 100 पेड़ ही सस्टेन कर पाते हैं, क्योंकि पेड़ों को केयर चाहिए, बच्चों की तरह केयर चाहिए। दे आर ऑल्सो लिविंग बीइंग। उसके लिए खर्चा होता है साल भर का 3 से 4,000, 5,000 रुपये का। कौन करेगा? वो 50-100 पेड़ नेचर वैसे हो जाते हैं, बाकी 900 पेड़ मर जाते हैं। इसमें कहीं ना कहीं पब्लिक और उसकी पार्टनरशिप चाहिए। एक एक जन को इंटीग्रेशन चाहिए कि मुझे भी पेड़ लगाना है। अब आप कैसे लगाएंगे? आप सब लोगों की इच्छा है पेड़ लगा। अच्छा, मैं पहले पूछ देता हूँ, कितनों को पेड़ लगाने की इच्छा है? देखिए पूरा हॉल फुल है, कोई भी ऐसा नहीं है जो नहीं बोलेगा। पर टाइम है किसी के पास? शायद नहीं। उसका भी हमने रास्ता निकाला है कि आप लोग कैसे इसमें इन्वॉल्व हो सकते हैं। एग्जाम्पल के लिए, जैसे आप कहीं जाते हो, बुके ले जाते हो, तो बुके 1 घंटे बाद डस्टबिन में चला जाता है। हमने ये एक ब्यूटीफुल एक पैक बनाया है जिसके अंदर पंचगव्य का गमला है। वही गाय के गोबर मूत्र दूध देगी, जो पेड़ को एक्चुअली न्यूट्रिशन मदर्स वूम की तरह ये काम करता है। इसके अंदर फर्टिलाइज अपना वर्मी कंपोस्ट डला हुआ, नीम का पेड़ डला हुआ, ऐसे 5 पेड़ हमने डाले जो 80% से ज़्यादा ऑक्सीजन देते हैं। आप कहीं पे भी जाते हैं, इसको आपने ऐसा अपना बुके की जगह इसको किया, तो सामने वाले के पास ही जब पहुंचता है उसको सिर्फ उसमें 20 to 30 ml पानी देना है और थोड़ी सी धूप देनी है। मतलब हर कोई आप अपने टेबल पे, अपने घर पे, अपने कंपाउंड में इस पेड़ को बड़ा कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, अब इसमें क्या हुआ, पब्लिक पार्टनरशिप हो गई। कॉर्पोरेट गिफ्टिंग में जैसे हमने अभी काफ़ी स्टोर से टाई अप किया, एग्जांपल मैं आसोपालो का नाम ले लेता हूँ यहाँ पे। आप आसोपालो से कोई बिलिंग लोगे तो आपको बिल के साथ एक पेड़ गिफ्ट करेगा, उनकी CSR एक्टिविटी हो जाती है। ये CSR में आता है सबसे बड़ी चीज़, पेड़ लगाने का। जेट ब्लू है, बिलिंग, एडिडास, जॉकी, नाइकी। आप ताज से जैसे चेकआउट करेंगे, ताज वाला आधे दिनों में पेड़ देगा, पूरा ताज का एक कंपाइलेशन होगा, उसका पैकेजिंग होगा। चेकआउट किया, आपके साथ फोटो लेगा, शाम को लगाएगा 10,000 प्लेट, 10,000 ट्रीज प्लांटेड टुडे, 20,000 ट्रीज प्लांटेड टुडे। तो बेसिकली हमने जितनी भी इनोवेशंस किए हैं उसका मकसद एक ही है कि हर एक आदमी को इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कैसे करवाएं, जिसमें हम एनवायरनमेंट का ख्याल रख सकें, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग को आगे कंट्रोल किया जा सके और हमारी थर्ड जनरेशन को कम से कम अपनी संस्कृति के साथ साथ अपने ग्लोबल वार्मिंग से भी बैलेंस किया जाए, ताकि उनको खाने पीने के लिए हाथ में बंदूक न उठानी पड़े। तो कहते हैं ना, अर्थव्यवस्था, अर्थ के 4 रूप होते हैं। अर्थ का मतलब पैसा, उसका होने के बावजूद उपयोग न करो तो व्यर्थ हो जाता है, गलत उपयोग करो तो अनर्थ हो जाता है। आज तक हम सब ने क्या किया, स्वार्थ का किया। घर, मकान, दुकान, गाड़ियाँ, रोल्स रॉयस, मर्सिडीज सब बनाई हैं, पर किसके लिए? अपने परिवार के लिए। समाज को क्या दिया है? चुटकी भर भी नहीं दिया है, वो भी तख्ती लगा दी है मैंने दिया। पर कहीं हम काम ऐसा करें जिसमें बाय डिफ़ॉल्ट जितना आप काम कर रहे हैं समाज के लिए कल्याण का काम हो, परमार्थ हो। तो हमने पूरी ये वाव नंदी को परमार्थ की इकोनॉमी पे किया है कि जितना आदमी इसमें जितनी मेहनत करेगा कमाने के लिए, कितना भी स्वार्थी बनेगा, कितना भी लालची बनेगा, उतना समाज को गिव बैक हो जाएगा। कहीं ना कहीं गाय कत्ल खाने जाने से बचेगी, उन लोगों को रोज़गार मिलेगा। एक चीज़ मैं बताना भूल गया, हम रोज़गार भी उन लोगों को देते हैं 40 के ऊपर, मैन एंड वेमेन, डिग्री वाले को नहीं, क्योंकि वो ऐसा बहुत बड़ा वर्ग है जिनको नौकरी मिलना। आप HR वाले इस चीज़ को अच्छी तरह जानते हैं। जब आपके पास कोई आता है, पहले क्राइटेरिया देखते हैं एज क्या है, जहाँ 40 अप हो जाता है आपकी क्राइटेरिया में पैरामीटर्स ही डाउन हो जाते हैं। अब उन लोगों का कौन ध्यान रखेगा? ऑटिस्टिक बच्चे हैं, अनाथालय में बच्चे हैं, सीनियर सिटीजन हैं जो स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, उनको इंगेजमेंट चाहिए, कोई बात करने वाला नहीं है, उनको कौन क्या करेगा? तो हम ये सब चीज़ें उनसे बनवाते हैं, गौशाला को अडॉप्ट करते हैं, उनसे प्रोडक्ट बनवाते हैं मशीनें देके, और हम चाहते हैं कि आप यहाँ HR वाले जो बैठे हुए हैं इस देश के अंदर इसको कंट्रीब्यूशन करें। कॉर्पोरेट गिफ्टिंग में इसको हम अच्छी तरह से ले जा सकते हैं। आज काफ़ी हमारे कॉर्पोरेट से बात चल रही है, काफ़ी काम हमारा मैच्योर्ड भी हो चुका है, चूँकि कंपनी अभी नई नई है। तो हमारे आने वाले दिनों में है कि आप HR वाले यहाँ बैठे हैं, एक देश के प्रति, एक समाज के प्रति आपका भी एक दायित्व बनता है, और एक सस्टेनेबिलिटी का प्रोडक्ट, जीरो वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट हम समाज को कैसे पहुंचाएं आपके माध्यम से। इसलिए आज मेरा यहाँ आगमन हुआ है। मैं आप सबका तहे दिल से धन्यवाद करता हूँ, आपने मेरे को सुना, एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच। वंदे गौ मातरम।
It is indeed wow, sir. शुक्रिया सर आपका आने के लिए, वरना महफिल के जज्बात अधूरे रह जाते हैं। So here, thank you so much, Bajaj sir, and it was indeed mind-provoking thought, like 40 plus के लिए क्या sir? Thank you so much. Today morning I came to know something from Nishad. How many are of you engineers, like people, engineers means software वाले? सर आपसे तो उम्मीद थी ही। और कोई? Anyone is working with SQL? Tushar sir? I and Tushar, we both learned SQL at a very, just recently. And I came to that there is someone with us today, almost आंखें बंद करके SQL के query लिखते हैं। HR वाले हम सब लोग हैं। We don't take perhaps technical interviews, but अपने tech lead से पूछेगा कि SQL database वालों की value क्या होती है। So today we have here Ritwick Singh from EY. He is specialized in Oracle SCM and leading 10 plus successful implementation across multiple countries. And his journey spans to VoIP development, entrepreneurship, strategic HR, tech transformation, सबसे बड़ा vital part हमारे लिए. And he is right now leading in Oracle SCM re-implementation for Adani Group and optimizing HR processes and for the efficiency and impact. He is very much passionate about innovation and global collaboration, and he is having a blend of technical expertise and leadership. And सबसे बढ़िया बात, expertise on SQL without looking at the screen is writing queries. So I would like to have Ritwick Singh on the stage. Please have a round of applause, please, everyone. एक बार फिर से जोर से तालियां बजाइए, please. Thank you so much. आइए sir, the stage is yours.
Good morning, everyone. HR Circle, PDU, and AMA. Thank you very much for providing this opportunity to me. I think we had a very insightful talk from our guest, and back of the mind, even I was thinking long back that how I can give back to the society, right? Because if I talk about my education, by education, I'm an engineer. But by profession, I am a technology consultant. Okay, so and when if you are interested, we'll get into a detail. My journey has been very interesting and diverse in terms of how I started working, from where I started and where I am today. So before I get into much detail, let's focus on what's the agenda for today's meet. The agenda, as you can see on the slide, is hire smart, retain right. And this could mean different to different person, but let me share what does this mean to me. When we say hire right, that doesn't mean hire the brightest, right? Right means hire the right, what works for you. Majority of us who are here are directly, indirectly, I would say most of us directly, are connected with the hiring process and the retaining process. In my experience, I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to work across the globe. Majority of the customers from the Western world, but today I'm not going to talk about them because that's not relevant. India is different, okay? And India is different when I say that our needs, our priorities are different. Because culturally, if you see, every country has went through a cycle. Right, when there was a World War II, after that America grew. Because the economy was struggling, people wanted something, and then they got developed. So, in my opinion, it's not right to compare our needs or India directly with US, because it's completely different. If I move to request Nisha to go to the next slide, so yeah, my insights and experience, why you should even listen to me? Just because I'm standing here, that's why you should listen to me? No. Whatever you will hear from me today will be based on my experience, which I have gathered while working with different customers in different geographies. And more or less, everyone shares the same challenge, but the ideas are different to handle those challenges. So, without getting what you call much into who I am and what I did and all, just hear me from a perspective that there's somebody standing in front of you who has seen almost 9 to 10 country HR practices and how they run, how they engage their people, and how they make sure that they do their best. Right now, as it has been shared in my introduction, that I work for I'm working on a transformation project in Adani Group. They have their own challenges. But without getting into specifics, let's keep it a little bit generic so that it feels relevant to everyone. let's move to the next slide, please. Defining the talent equation, what it means. Yeah. As I said, when starting, hiring smart and retaining right. Why do we need to hire smart? Anyone would like to answer this? Retain, we all know why we want to retain. But anyone would like to answer why we want to hire smart? Yes, please. To get the best results. Good one. Anyone else want to try? Getting right talent. Thank you. Makes sense. And these are all opinions, okay? There is no right or wrong in this. You are speaking based on your experience. But if somebody has to ask me why we should hire smart, because if you hire the most intelligent person, let's say we have IIM Ahmedabad, right? An MBA graduate from IIM Ahmedabad, 1 crore package, you get him to the work, and then you ask him to go to some remote location and build a site over there. Do you think that guy will do? He may say that in the interview that he will do his, let's face it, we all go through interviews and we know what the interview process is, right? So what hiring smart means, first look at what you want from them and accordingly hire so that there is no expectation gap. Right, so as sir was mentioning about, the CSR activities and all stuff, it's totally different ball game. If you hire somebody from top management college, put them there, he will leave it. And this is exactly the challenge which most of the companies face. So to me, that is hiring smart. First look at your needs, first look at your culture, and then hire. Retain right. What does that mean? Retention often is directly linked to a compensation, right? But after a point, or I would say in everyday life, one of my bosses have told me this, and that has stuck in my mind till date, that if you see, on an average, when we are awake, majority of our time we spend in the office. Majority of our time. Most of the working colleagues who go to office every day, majority of our time when we are conscious, we are in the office. So how you can make sure that somebody who is coming to the office every day, leaves late or at least on the time, enjoys it? And believe me guys, it's not the work pressure, it's, I would say 30-40 times it's the environment. How's the environment? So when we say retain right, it's not always about compensation, and I will get into the detail of it, okay? Let's move to the next slide, please. Yeah, finding the right fit. I briefly spoke about it. I gave an example of top management college and hiring from there. So if you see, in total, there are broadly 3 things you should be keeping in mind. And please don't think this, I'm just giving you some gyan and don't putting any data here. But whatever I am speaking is based on data. I don't want to quote any data here, but it is based on data. Okay. So skill versus culture fit. Please keep this in mind always. Do not hire a singer to cook. It's not what he wants to do, right? He may say that he wants to do, but he won't. Use data in hiring, yeah. So one very interesting anecdote I would like to share. I know that person very closely. So often in the work experience of 15 years, he has around 15 years of experience. Often in the interviews, based on his resume, it is asked that you haven't stayed anywhere for long. You kept switching, right? And there is, the response which he often gives back is, there is one company where I stayed for 5 years. Maybe that person is looking for same company, right? So don't just, go by the switches. get into the detail, and see what exactly is differentiating. As HR, I know there is a hiring pressure. We need to get on board quickly, and all that is there. But when you have time, please try to get into such type of details. Figure out the candidate's education background, family background, where he belongs to, where he stayed. If he left somewhere, why he might have left, or she might have left. What could be the reason, right? So that could be one of the ways to look at the data, which you can figure out from the candidate's CV. Then second data, you can look at your own data of company. Because we often look outward. We're like, okay, candidate join nahi karta hai, candidate offer leke negotiate karne chala jata hai. That's all fine. But we should also look into our data, that what has been our strike rate. Whichever company you belongs to, whichever culture you are from, corporate culture I mean, and just look at, have you hired from a top IIM, did they stick with you? Have you hired from some college, did they stay with you? When you will start analyzing data, you will get to know that there is a pattern. And that's why this technology is getting important day by day. We often, as an HR technology consultant, whenever I land somewhere, people look at me as threat. But I'm not threat. I'm there to help you, right? I'm not there to consume your jobs. System C, nowadays, we have a lot of discussions about AI will take away all the jobs, and people will get redundant. I see a lot of videos on YouTube and influencers and influencers talking about this, just to sell their course. Okay, AI or technology or anything doesn't take your job unless you are not skilled enough or you are not ready to change. And you might have heard this along multiple times. When calculator came in, people who were just good at calculations, they were out of the job, right? But what if somebody who was good at calculations started adopting calculator? Now his calculation is way more faster, right? So for every HR group I meet, even in India, outside India, I think this is my opening commentary to everyone. Please don't get scared of technology. At EY, we do business transformations, we do HR transformations, but it's not to kill jobs. It's there to make jobs efficient. So to use data, you should leverage technology, because that will give data without biases. Second, structured hiring, third one, the structured hiring process. There is a conception among the groups and majority of the HR, or even I'm a hiring manager, we think that we only know about candidate. We have a group, we have alumni, we have a background verifying. Trust me guys, candidate also know about you. Okay? So nowadays, information is not missing. Everyone have the information. If I'm going for a job, I know everything about the company. Okay, so are they ghosting, or when they don't entertain my calls after 1 or 2 rounds of interviews? Everyone knows it. Okay, so why I'm bringing this point in structured hiring process? Because somewhere I feel that one thing which we should be doing is at least give an answer. Keep it clear, because now it's not an age where you will keep somebody hanging there for long, and then you will think someday you go back and ask them to, because generation is changing, guys. There was a time when our parents were almost hand to mouth, they didn't have much facilities. But today, if we talk about this region of country like Gujarat, Maharashtra, developed side, western side of this country, majority of the economical situation has improved. Everyone have a decent lifestyle, right? Right now, the Gen Zs, right? You're not able to properly spell that. It's a totally different workforce. And one thing I really like about HR is it's not one size fit all. Okay, so based, again, you may find I'm emphasizing on culture, I'm emphasizing on which company you belong to, but it's true. So whenever you are open to hire, whenever you are looking for right talent, please make sure that you are ensuring that you are following a structured process, not randomly calling at night 10 p.m. and asking for interview next day, okay? Don't do that. Because you might think that you have all the info, that guy will also pass the same information to his colleague, and that will not look good for your brand reputation. So that's in general about how to find a right fit. Also, what's not written there, I think before you go out in the market, understand the hiring manager. Which team this guy or this girl is going to be in. Because based on which industry you are, there are industries where this doesn't matter. But for service industry, where the turnaround is quite high, where your people are your assets, this is very important. Because we as an HR, we might think that, okay, I will hire this person, I'll put him to the team and he will start running. That doesn't happen. So it's kind of an advice, I would say it's a suggestion, that and suggestion coming from a technology consultant who always look at the data and who see the hiring pattern and who know all the secrets of any company we work for, right? That what exactly is the challenge. Please make sure that you align with the hiring manager first. Just don't look at the JD and start, trying to hire somebody. Make sure that you understand their team culture and then try to find a right fit. I'll give you an example. There are companies, there are managers who are very strict with their schedule. They start at 10, they finish at 7, right? Then you have some managers who are not that strict. In between, they may go for lunch break for 2-3 hours and then come back and then start working. They also work on Sundays, Saturdays. So that's a team culture. And believe me or not, that person who you are hiring is ultimately going to work in that culture. Right? So when we are screening, when we are trying to find the right fit, try to understand if that person has worked in this kind of situations or not. Then there is a manager who adopts. That's not a question. They do, but that's also one of the checks you can do. That was enough about hiring smart. Now it's my favorite topic is retaining right. Retention strategies. Most used or abused word I would say is retention strategy. See, one very good, I'm by education, as I said, I'm an engineer. And accidentally I got into this business of HR technology consulting. There is an interesting story. We can, if somebody is interested, we can talk about it. But the good part of human resource is there is a human element in it. No matter what technology comes, no matter what data is there, there is always a human element in it. So we spend a lot on making retention strategies, but somewhere we forget to give that human touch. So if you see at the key points, onboarding and early engagement, continuous learning and development, workplace culture, and all these points, you must have read somewhere in the book, right? We also have softwares which could help you get all these things. But does that help? Does that really help? I don't think so. It supports as a decision enabler, it supports as a platform, but your role is far crucial in making all these things happen. So if I talk about the first one, onboarding and early engagement, even I had an experience, and I don't want to name the company, but in the experience we also saw that the guy who was talking to me from the day one suddenly disappears on my joining date. And then there is a new guy coming in, and he says, okay, I will connect you with the hiring buddy. There is no transition. We have seen cases where a person is sitting there in the company for a week without anybody talking to him or her. What kind of impression we are giving? And this is not specific to any company, right? This could happen anywhere. I often hear HR complaining that, oh, candidates come and they ghost us, but look at what we are doing, right? So please put some extra efforts on the transition point. I understand the teams are different, but there should be a transition between those teams, so that experience, before me, those who have attended the session, Ragini was there talking about employee experience, right? We all belong to same company, so experience is very important. In a way, I would say hiring manager is our customer, but to whom we are hiring is also our customer. Today that guy may leave, but if that person have a wonderful experience of getting onboarded right and the early engagements, the chances are very high that that guy will come back or that girl will come back. Okay, so please focus on onboarding and early engagement. Don't think that you have just hired him, now dabbe mein aa gaya and we are boom. Now his hiring manager will take care of him. That doesn't work like that. Especially in the business where we are in. Okay, थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर नीचे चल सकता है, but not everywhere. Continuous learning and development. See, we all are humans, right? So we join a company with an aspiration, with a need that, okay, I need a good package, I want to, get into a good brand. But after a point, a year or two, वो सब धीरे धीरे ठंडा होने लगता है. You start getting into the regular day-to-day work. Then as an HR, how you make sure that that person is learning? We make investments, we try to track that, okay, how much we have spent on L&D, that other person will also track that how much this company has spent on my L&D. That can also happen, right? The other way around. Because now, with all the systems coming in, the employee self-service is very powerful. They can actually pull out a report and show you on your face that, okay, you haven't enrolled me in any of the training in the entire year. What are you talking about? Right? So, continuous learning and development is also very, very important. Workplace culture and employee engagement. This, more or less, I don't complain. We often in Diwali, Holi, and we are good at it. That's fine. So keep doing it, okay? Don't cut corners in that. Flexibility and well-being. This means different in different setup. In the business where we are in, consulting business, for us, flexibility means picking your own time slot to come in, go back. But for manufacturing, for industries, it could be something else, right? I don't claim to be an expert in all the, what you call, varieties of the jobs, but please see how you could provide the flexibility. As humans, we crave for flexibility. There are few exceptions, kind of, who don't want flexibility, that's fine, but majority needs flexibility. So please focus on flexibility and well-being for sure. Well-being for a manufacturing could be give them a good environment to breathe fresh air, and don't just keep dumping them somewhere where they are not even able to inhale. For service industries, don't keep pushing them so hard that they have to work for Sundays and every Saturdays. So these are all the things. I don't have to say much about it. There's enough available on the internet. What does this means, right? So please continue practicing that. Unconventional feedback mechanism. This is my favorite. Because we implement softwares, we implement systems. There's a beautiful functionality which triggers a feedback and the employee ignores. He simply don't care because he is already frustrated. If somebody is very motivated, that guy will still get into it and provide you a feedback, but don't rely on that. Majority of the time, and that could also be an indicator, right? That this guy for last 1 year haven't provided any feedback. What that could mean? One, that person is so happy that he don't care. Second, that person is so frustrated that he don't care or she don't care, right? Unsolicited or unconventional feedback mechanism is very important. If I have to put myself in the HR shoe, I would rely on unconventional feedbacks, because there a true feedback come from. And then don't go and hold accountable, hold that person accountable for it. That, hey, that guy, you give that feedback, now you'll be punished. Don't do that. HR have a very fine balance to play. Any company we go, we see HR situation is very tricky. Very tricky. There is a management who is always demanding. There are employees who are always complaining. And to strike a balance, it's very difficult. And the moment you come with that HR tag, employees have a perception that this is a management spy trying to get information out of me, right? So that happens. And as a HR folks, that's the challenge you need to do, you need to address. How you establish yourself as a genuine person who is there to solve a problem, who is not there to create a new problem, right? So there is some kind of reputation rework we all need to do. Even I say this to my HRs also. it's not something. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling facts. Because I'm HR technology consultant, don't expect what you call kind of words which you won't understand. It will directly come from data and everything, so it's straight. So please excuse me if anyone is getting it wrong. Sorry, I doesn't mean that. Okay, so I really feel that unconventional feedback mechanism is important. From here, when you go back to your companies, start thinking over it. Are you doing enough to get a feedback? Sometimes what happens, the feedbacks are genuine. And at that point of time, you cannot do anything about it, right? But try to spread a message or kind of environment, try to build an environment where employees start feeling that at least they are heard, right? Offboarding and staying in touch. Again, this one is also my favorite. How often do you go and talk to an employee who has already left your company? We don't, right? Normally we don't. We think that मुझे क्या करना है, वो चला गया, वो दूसरे में चला गया. I don't say or I don't suggest that you should be doing this for everyone, but based on the data, you analyze if some top performer leaves, that person might have a genuine reason to leave, maybe child education, transfer, elderly parents, maybe. Try to stay in touch with them, because nothing is permanent. Don't think that, okay, you have done great to that guy, so someday he will come back or she will come back and join your company back. That doesn't happen. And most of the companies fail at doing this. There's a word called alumni management, right? I'm not using that word, as I said. I'm a technology consultant, I will say straight, right? So stay in touch. That's the suggestion, or that's the practice which I see a lot of companies use. And whatever I'm speaking here is not my own theory and I'm just, throwing here out. This is actually a mixture of my experience of working with these organizations as a HR transformation consultant. I may not have an MBA in HR, but I have worked with people who have the highest degree in HR. I cannot name because of the obvious reasons, but that's true. What's next? Yep. I don't want to oversimplify it, but if we look around, HR can be broadly summarized in this one sentence: compensation, clarity, career, and care. No matter who you are dealing with, no matter which country you are in, employee would need at least 3 of it. 1, you can keep variable. That's fine. You can care little less, but if you are paying so high, they may find it okay. So let me talk one by one. What does compensation mean? compensation, when I say compensation, that doesn't mean you keep always throwing money, right? And we all do job assessments, we all see what's the benchmark salary and all. To your top performers, always try to keep them there. Because as I started, you think you know about them, they also know about the market. Okay, so let's not get into it. It may not be totally in your hand, but suggestions are in your hand. Keep suggesting a hiring manager, keep suggesting the business unit that, hey, this person is a top performer in the market, this is the salary which is in range, I think we should pay him more. If it is not done, then you should focus on that. Clarity. Clarity is again something which is craved by the employees. मुझे करना क्या है? Right? So majority of the time clarity is there, but if you feel somebody in within your area of influence lacks it, please provide them. Okay. Career is not only linked with compensation. Today I may be doing HR transformation, I may be implementing Oracle HCM, but I'm also thinking about my career, that what next? It may not be immediate, like tomorrow you will start doing this, but there could be a promise which you can make with them that after this point, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you will be doing this, and stay true to that, please. Okay, because with technology, if you have softwares in your companies, people can take screenshots and send it back to you after 3 years. So please be fair with that also. At the end, care. Care, again, I will call out an example from different industry. Care means different for everyone. In our industry, care means different because we always have very hard customers to deal, very difficult customer, very demanding. Specifically in the India region where we work, let's accept it, right? Even I go out and buy something, I want to get maximum value out of it. There are very straight examples of Nichorna and all that, right? Every drop we want to get out of it. So in our business, care means totally different. Our bosses cannot stop the customer from being difficult, but they have methods to keep us calm. And that influences us to go again, face the customer, and be with that customer for longer duration. So care will mean different as per the industry you are in, as per the company you are in. I will leave it to you to figure out what that means to you. Is there a slide? Please. Yeah, next steps, actionable takeaways. I can see a lot of people taking notes. Don't treat it as a picture which we take in camera, right? We take a picture in a camera, then we forget about it. We don't even go and check it, right? I want you to make some notes based on your environment, go back, go talk to your bosses, and try to start implementing it. You may be a recruiter, you may be into payrolls, you may be into exit interviews. Try to focus on how you make the experience better. If somebody is getting offboarded, throw a party for it, no? Make them feel special. That person will also think that, मैं तो जा रहा हूँ, ये मुझे party क्यों दे रहे हैं? Right? Make that experience memorable. Just for the sake of saying you can always come back and try to do some bit of extra. When you are talking to somebody, when you are requesting for a feedback, try to be more authentic. Again, I do not undermine the HR, or the job of HR is very difficult because there's a demanding management and there's a complaining employee. And you need to strike a balance. So work on your creativity, see how you can help and present your authentic self, develop your brand. If there is a person X, that person X from HR should be seen as an authentic person, not somebody who is just here to spy and pass the information. Okay, I have said this, I am telling this again. I hope you all have made some notes, some actionable items. please try to practice it. Even 1 or 2, you will see a difference. Difference will not come tomorrow. Like, it's not a stock market that something will start going up, right? But it will give results in a year or 2. And most important, it will help to improve the company brand, your brand and company's brand. And that really helps. I know people who have worked for a company are dying to go back to that company, but that is unfortunate. That company has been dismantled. They have sold the company. So now everyone is just roaming here and there, try to find that same culture, same brand, but unfortunately it's not there. So this really works. So I hope I was able to make sense, and whatever I shared, please don't take it otherwise. It is straight from experiences, it was straight from heart, and I hope you will be able to practice it. Thank you very much.
So we tried using technology for Q&A, and we use Slido. So we have a list of dedicated questions from a lot of folks here. And one of the questions that people have asked is, and it has got the maximum number of upvotes also, is that what should be prioritized according to you? Skill fit or culture fit?
Okay. This is fine, right? Sorry, Nishad, help with the question, please.
Yeah, the question again is that what should be prioritized? Skill fit or culture fit?
Okay. See, it depends on what's your actual requirement right now. Let me give my own example. Right now, we might have 10 projects to deliver, but we are short of 20 to 30 resources. Let's assume. My urgent priority is to bring resources and skillful resources. So at that point of time, I may not be able to think that long, because I can think long and I can implement solution only if I survive. So look, there's no straight answer to this one. So it depends on the situation you are in. So analyzing your situation, and then this is coming back to you ultimately, right? How well you analyze your current situation and take a decision based on that. Look at the data, what has worked for you. So there's no straight answer.
Okay. There's one more similar question on the same grounds, is that could you help us giving a use case on how to take unconventional feedback?
Wonderful. It may not be as relevant in Gujarat, but it is widely practiced in Bangalore, Karnataka, or where you can throw parties and you can bring people there and you can talk to them on the sideline outside of the office infrastructure. So what I have experienced, or what we have learned, is in the office setup, you are never going to get a genuine feedback. In the setup which that person is daily working, forget about getting feedback from majority. They won't. Try to arrange some kind of outing. You go out far away. First, make them feel happy about it. Don't the moment they land there, don't start questioning and asking for feedback. The unconventional feedback, let's say for example, we often have, Nishad, the outgoing events where we go out somewhere and we talk to our fellow colleagues that how are you seeing? How are things with you? This is a very powerful question. How are things? क्या चल रहा है? That क्या चल रहा है का response जो आता है ना, that set a tone. If that guy is giving you क्या चल रहा है from personal life, then that means work में सब थोड़ा बहुत ठीक है. मतलब majority ठीक है. If that guy will start talking about work and say अरे बहुत परेशान है ये वो है, उसने परेशान कर रखा है, कल मांगा ये, then you have a feedback, right? See, feedback doesn't mean feedback like हाँ मेरा मैनेजर बहुत खराब है, उसने ऐसा कर दिया, ये वो कोई नहीं बोलने वाला. कल उसको उसके साथ ही काम करना है. You are just there for an event, right? So don't expect much. Try to get these cues. So this could be one of the ways, Nishad.
This is a good one. So while we heard you speaking a lot about data, right? And I had the pleasure of working with Ritwick, and I understand how he deals with data. So there's one question around that data can be analyzed quickly and we can come on insights over that, right? But the important factor is capturing of data. So then the point is that if I want to capture, effectively measure employee satisfaction or employee engagement, how should I go about it?
Wonderful. And this is again my personal experience. I'm not speaking on behalf of EY, okay? So don't hold me for this. If I have to gather a feedback from my teammates, I do not publish a survey, a boring email survey where there's a question and then there is a radio button to pick excellent. Everyone puts excellent. It's a fact, right? What I will rather try to do is, I will see how often my colleagues are enrolling into self-learning activities. As a manager, I can have that information, right? How often, what's their pattern of coming to the office? Is it like someday they come at 10 and then someday at 12, or they are motivated, they come 10 every day? These are some hidden cues. If I have to look at, may not be relevant for people, manufacturing it won't be, but for service industry this is. Second or third, I would say how often they engage in the activities which are planned for the company, for the team, right? That could be third. Then fourth point, it could be from the benefits you are giving. So let's say you have a fantastic policy of giving subsidized loan for a car. Are they availing it? Right? So these are some of the cues. When you see, then you feel that yes, this employee is engaged. Don't throw a survey. It helps, it gives a data point, but these are also some of the offline cues you could gather. And there, I can speak on and on and on. There are a hell lot of things, but yeah, let's keep it to this point for now.
So as you said, rightly, that measurement of primaries in any surveys, that is always great, but also measurement of secondaries and tertiaries help, which is more effective ways to measure how employees are satisfaction or how the employee engagement is going on. Now I think we'll pick up a last question, and we would like to get your POV on what could be some of the effective ways on onboarding employees and engage employees even before they have joined. How could we make it more effective?
Great question, and I'm glad this has been asked. So in one company follows a practice where what they do, and you can take this as a takeaway and actionable items I was telling about, right? You can start implementing this one right away. What they do is when they give somebody an offer, there's a notice period in between, right? 3 months, 2 months. Nowadays in our business, we always want an immediate joiner. That's not always possible, but let's take an ideal scenario where that person have a 3-month notice. The moment you see that the notice period is now just 1 month, your heartbeat start getting faster, right? ये join करेगा कि नहीं करेगा? कहीं चला गया तो. And to mitigate that, we give offers to multiple people. Think 10 को दिया 3 तो आएंगे. Why we are into that situation? Why don't we try to, start creating the impression? So what you can actually do is, let's say you are hiring for a team. Who is the head of that team? Request them. They may be very busy. I don't deny that. Request them to spend some time on Saturdays or Sundays to talk to all these candidates, so they could actually see with whom they are going to work with. Trust me, guys, this really works. Because if I know to whom I'm going to work and I could ask questions, I would make up my mind. I'm not talking about freshers. Okay, freshers are just out of the college and they are just there to get best compensation they could, and it's not their fault, it's their right. Everyone should work on that direction. But for the laterals, after 3 or 4, and you have heard me saying this multiple times that it depends, right? So if you are hiring a VP, the strategy will be different. if you are hiring somebody who is like 5 to 10 years of experience, the strategy will be different. But this one, which I told you, right, it works really well from 5 to 10 years of the experience. Engage them with the HOD, head of the department, or the hiring manager, or the business, way beyond they are getting onboarded. You will really feel, you will drastically see that dropouts going down.
Sure, sir.
The question, right? I said there is no clarity on the, I mean, that is for sure. Being an employer, I can understand. Ki skill culture and culture fit, skill fit and culture fit, right? That was a question, if I'm not wrong, right? It is like body and soul. Body without soul is dead, soul without body is pritatma. So when you find an employee, if he is a culture fit, little bit into the skill, try to groom his skills. You will find a best person. And when you think that his skills are better, try to improve your culture so that he gets fit into it. So शरीर और आत्मा की तरह ये काम करेगा, एक fit नहीं हो सकता. You have to balance both the world. So body fit and, I mean, skill fit and culture fit. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I was actually very tempted to, add on some points here. I work very closely with a lot of CHROs. So culture fit, it's pretty difficult to ascertain. There aren't many tests available for culture fit. Personality, there are tests available. One method which companies use is that you look at other companies who are similar to your culture and then try to get people from those companies. That is one method. That's the ideal way, if possible, yes, 10 out of 10, you get the best fit over there. Second, in case, if it is not that case, you get the best skill set, what to do. जब कोई मेहमान हमारे घर पे आता है, कोई बच्चा हमारे घर पे आता है, हम बच्चे को इंक्लूड करके उसको सिखाते हैं. एक जना ज्वाइन करता है, हम 100 लोग हैं, हम उसको हमारे रीत रिवाज सिखा सकते हैं. हम सबको चेंज होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, हम उसको ग्रूम कर सकते हैं. So that is in case if you find a gap in culture fit, सारे मिलके जो हमारा existing culture है उसको उसमें ग्रूम करिए. That is it.
Ma'am, what's your good name, please? Selena. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
So, just another dimension which I want to
Sir,
add.
can you please introduce first
Yeah.
yourself?
Hi, I'm Nishit Parik. I'm AGM HR for Jyoti CNC. I have been here in a lot of events from HR Circle. And yeah, just another dimension to what ma'am added is that what I would like to highlight is when you have a gap between skill and culture fitness, I would give priority to culture fitness just because it is difficult to gauge, but you can train someone on the skills which are required, but training someone on the culture is a bit difficult. So whenever you are going to decide someone that if someone is not fitting into the culture, don't hire, because it is very difficult, because you don't have any measurement criteria. Rightly said that we don't have tools except the personality test and few things which we can gauge from the interviews. So it's a very dark zone, and if you feel that there is a gap, a big gap, then ideally I would not like to hire that person, because skills you can train, you have modules, everything, people can learn, and that's when you look at potentials. But on the other side, it's a dark and a gray zone. So hiring someone for the skill fit would lead you to a very different zone when, he's a very skill fit, he is a very good singer, but then you want them to sing in Tamil and he was from North. So he won't be able to adapt. And what we see, like we have a lot of people coming from every part of India, right into Rajkot. Someone from South looking for chettinad chicken in Rajkot where you don't find. So that is like what the culture brings together. along with everything. It's just about taste, but yeah, a lot of things comes together with the culture. So and it's very complex. And what I feel is like skill is still resolvable rather than culture. And yeah, that's my point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nishad. Sir, we'll come back to you. And निशाद हमेशा नमक की तरह काम करता है, जहाँ पे भी जितना ज़रूरत है उतना यूज़ कर लो. Thank you, Nishad. And yes, for Ritwick, like it was everything he covered from this all compensation, care, career, clarity, and the one word that stuck to me is spy. So actually we have to work like that. Our employees will tell us the spy who loved me. So thank you so much, Rutvij, and I will hand over to Bhavna.
Okay, thank you, Rutvij, for your. No, please be seated. Yeah, I can say a lot here. Okay, so on honor to, like I can say, on behalf of everyone, HR Circle and everyone, we truly appreciate your time and wisdom. To honor you, we have a special token of gratitude. From first, I would say, Wow Nandi, Mr. Bajaj will invite you to felicitate Mr. Ritwick. Please come.
तालियां चालू रहनी चाहिए.
Thank you so much. And from AMA, we have Mr. Deepak Bhatt. We'll invite you to felicitate Mr. Ritwick.
Please have a big round of applause, please. We are here more than 100 people.
Okay, a big round of applause for Ritwick as well. Thank you so much, Ritwick. Okay.
So,
You can please have a seat. Yeah, thank you so much, Ritwick. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, thank you. I'll be.
okay, so once again, मैं अपने नमक को बुलाना चाहता हूँ. ગુજરાતી સમજાય જ બધાને? બધા સમજે છે? હે ને સાહેબ? થેન્ક યુ. કારણ નિષાદને મારે છે ને અલગ રીતે બોલાવવું પડશે. અમારા બંનેનું એક કોમન બેઝ અમે શેર કરીએ છીએ. અમે બંને ગુજરાતી મીડિયમના છોકરાઓ છીએ. અને મારા મેરેજ પછી મારી વાઈફે મને કરિયર અને કેરિયર વચ્ચેનો ફરક સમજાવ્યો હતો. સો યસ, શી ઇઝ ફ્રોમ ઇંગ્લિશ મીડિયમ, નો હોમ મિનિસ્ટ્રી. આમ જો કહેવા બેસું તો યુગો વીતી જશે. આમ જો કહેવા બેસું તો યુગો વીતી જશે. પણ જો ધ્યાનથી સાંભળો તો ક્ષણની વાત છે. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. નિશાદ, પ્લીઝ પહેલાં આવી જા તું. સો ધેટ્સ ઓલ. નિશાદ ઇઝ ઓલવેઝ સરપ્રાઈઝ. નિશાદ himself is a surprise.
Maybe I may be a surprise for everybody. And today, I mean, after a long time, since I was in school, I have the privilege to be on stage where my parents are also around. So, round of applause for them. જ્યારે આ ચહેરા પર દાઢી મૂછ નહોતી અને પૂરા વાળ હતા ત્યારે એમણે મને સ્ટેજ પર જોયો હતો and now they are seeing it. So, I'll quickly start with a small story. Okay, I know बहुत सारा टेक्निकल नॉलेज एक्सेट्रा हो गया था. एक बार क्या हुआ था, बिरबल का हैप्पी बर्थडे आया. बिरबल पता है ना सबको, एवरीबॉडी नोज राइट. तो उसका हैप्पी बर्थडे था एंड बादशाह अकबर डिसाइडेड टू गिव अ सरप्राइज पार्टी. तो बिरबल ऐसे मतलब अपने कमरे में सो रहा है नाइट ड्रेस पहन के. उसको सैनिक आके बोलता है तुमको बादशाह ने बुलाया, अभी आओ. तो बिरबल ऐसे आ रहा है. हाँ बादशाह बोलिए. बादशाह बोले यार तेरे सरप्राइज बर्थडे पार्टी लगाई है, यहाँ पे सेलिब्रेशन चल रहा है, यू शुड एंजॉय. बढ़िया खाना लगाया हुआ है, अभी तानसेन गाना गाएगा, इट्स ऑल नाइस. तो बिरबल कहता है जहाँ बना वो होती तो अच्छा होता. क्या कहता है बिरबल? जहाँ बना वो होती तो अच्छा होता. सो जहाँ बना इज लाइक अभी बिरबल तेरी बीवी भी है इधर, किसकी बात कर रहा है? ही स्टार्टेड द पार्टी. कुछ नया लाए बिरबल के लिए, Still, Birbal is very least interested. वो थोड़ा ऐसे लग रहा है. Birbal बोलता है जहाँ पना उसकी बात ही अलग है. वो होती तो अच्छा होता. आधा घंटा, पौना घंटा, जहाँ पना is doing everything to please Birbal. पर भाई बिरबल कब से यही एक बोल रहा है कि वो होती तो अच्छा होता. अब जहाँ पना को गुस्सा आया, तलवार निकाली, बिरबल के गर्दन पे रखी and he is asking, अब तू बता ये है कौन वो. बिरबल said it in very nice way. जहाँ पना भूख होती तो अच्छा होता. He said it, जहाँ पना भूख होती तो अच्छा होता. As HR professionals, right, that killer instinct, that hunger to drive towards excellence is what we are going to celebrate by HR Awards. So this was the surprise that I wanted to launch. HR Circle is coming up with HR Awards, and this is to celebrate excellence in HR. But now, excellence is a very relative term, right? For a KG school going child, उसके लिए ABCD लिखना excellence है. And for a CEO, taking the company from one stage to another is excellence, right? We are going to celebrate excellence across all levels. So we have 3 different categories of awards that we would be putting in. One is individual, we have team, and then we would also have agency categories. Under individual categories, we are going to put this all awards. We'll have excellence across all levels, right? You'll have HR leaders, you'll have emerging professionals, we'll also reward the best recruiters, we'll have L&D champions, HR business partner heroes, technology pioneers, we'll have CSRs which are being done very great by the organizations, and one of the most important parameter is DEI. We all look at DEI very differently, and it's not just diversity of race or gender that we might look at it. We should also look at diversity of thought. That's what is going to be appreciated, right? For the team categories, we would have HR team of the year, teams that have driven TA excellence, teams that have built workplace culture. Workplace culture is never built by individuals, be it the CEOs. It's always built by teams. We would appreciate those teams. We would have teams which have great L&D excellence. We would have RPO partners, agencies that provide best candidate experience. We would have staffing agency of the year. These are different categories. While I'm speaking about these categories, a common question might come up, right? Okay, all this is there. How do we nominate ourselves? How do we register ourselves, right? Thamba, wo bhi aa raha hai. So we'll have the next. A couple of FAQs people might want to ask. So before they ask, we'll just quickly clarify that individuals can nominate themselves up to 2 categories, and teams can nominate themselves up to 3 categories. So if we look at a cumulative approach, एक individual अपने आप को 5 categories तक nominate कर सकता है, being a part of team as well as individuals, right? The second part is that we are also looking at nominations via referrals, and referrals get brownie points. You nominate yourself and somebody else nominates you. It's better that somebody else nominates you because they might have worked with you. They will have certain brownie points by the jury. We have all the nominations and participations referrals. We'll share a QR code here, as well as we'll share a QR code around the registration desk also. You all can scan and apply for that. The tentative planning to unveil the awards and declare it to everybody would be in May 2025. So we would have approximately 2.5 months to prepare for today. So I request everyone to participate in this very actively. And the first part is that I've been around this industry for some time. We have seen that usually awards are not pro bono, right? You'll get a mail saying that if you want to have this award, X plus GST, please give it to us. These awards are pro bono. There's no registration fees to it. HR Circle is launching this probably for the first time. So big round of applause for that. A big round of applause for the HR Circle task force behind these awards. And that's it from my side. I'll quickly just share the next slide, which has the QR code. Everybody can scan it. And while people are busy scanning, I would like to invite the entire HR Circle task force on stage. Everybody please. Everybody please. Before I start taking names, people should come voluntarily. Because I can pull in people by asking for the names also. Devang Bhai should be in the center. This is the center. So, big round of applause for the HR Circle team. Are Mausam Bhai.
So we have couple of people who are contributing, but they are not available today due to their social commitments. But yes, I mean, we have large supporter group on dais, off dais, because you guys are always there to attend our program. I'm sure you guys will be taking part in this awards as well. All the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you team for being on the stage. Again, a big round of applause for the HR Circle team. Yeah. Yeah. That, sure. So as of now, we have not put a deadline towards taking nominations, but that would surely come on LinkedIn. Keep following HR Circle page. But we would try closing by mid of April. That is the overall target, right? Okay, team. So
one more announcement is that HR Circle committee members are not part of this thing. I mean, we would be arranging, organizing, executing it, but we won't be getting award.
So आप लोगों का competition कम कर दिया. So as soon as apply, sir, don't wait for the deadlines. Last match आखिरी बॉल तक नहीं खेलना.
And from tomorrow on our LinkedIn page, we would be having this even QR. If you are not able to scan it right away, you'll get that on our LinkedIn page. I'm sure you all are following our LinkedIn page, which is HR Circle. We are also available on Insta, thanks to our Gen Z participants as well. So we are there on Insta, not so actively like Gen Zs, but yes, we are there. Okay, and WhatsApp group, I'm sure majority of are of you on in that WhatsApp group as well. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you everyone, I can say part of HR Circle and everyone today who are present over here. We'll have a moment from Mr. Deepak Bhatt to have I can say to have few words beside AMA. So would like to invite you on stage, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, have a round of applause for Mr. Deepak.
Welcome everyone. I represent Ahmedabad Management Association as a public relations committee member. I spent 17 years into HR. Then I diversified my portfolio into journalism, digital marketing, communication. So HR is always close to my heart, and thankful to Devang Bhai and HR Circle team. I know Devang Bhai since 2011 and we have very good connections. On behalf of AMA, I would like to invite all of you. I know 7th March is the salary date for all the HR professionals, so you might be busy, but spend at least 2 hours or 3 hours of time. We are organizing IMA's Regional Management Conclave at AMA, where we have Mr. Sanjay Kirloskar, the chairman of Kirloskar Brothers, as a speaker. We have Aditya Ghosh, the co-founder of Indigo Airlines and Akasha Air. We also have a Rajat Muna, the director of IIT Gandhinagar. And we have Rekha Sethi, Director General of All India Management Association. And we have Sunita Reddy, Managing Director of Apollo Hospitals. So please be registered. There is no registration fee. It's an open invitation and complimentary invitation for HR Circle team. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we have the panel discussion on dais. We'll welcome all the panelists on dais accordingly. So now let's switch the gears into an electrifying panel discussion with some of the brightest mind in HR. So I'd like to invite our discussion, I can say distinguished panelists, to take their seats on dais. Okay. So Ms. Arohi Shah, I'll give a short, I can say, introduction of her. She is head of operation and co-organizer, Software Craftspeople India, Incubyte. a chartered accountant with expertise in business development and strategic planning. Arohi leads operation at Incubyte. She fosters a culture of ownership, collaboration, and employee satisfaction. As a co-organizer of Software Craftspeople India, she promotes high-quality software development practices, supports the community's growth. So we welcome you, Ms. Arohi. A huge round of applause for her. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Here we have next enigmatic panelist, Mr. Ravish Sharma, Group Head HR Admin Meghmani Dice, with 30 years of experience in HR. He has led HR functions for major brands like Tata, Reliance, Adani. And he's known for implementing his innovative HR initiatives. He has streamlined HR processes across not only IT in FMCG and the most difficult sector, manufacturing, and telecom sector too. He is a strategic leader focused on talent management and business growth. And Ravish ji believes in power of human capital to drive organizational success. Sir, I would wish that I would have worked under you someday. Sir, thank you so much. Please come on the stage.
Okay, so another panelist, Ms. Shama Patel. She is a head of HR in Motadata. Shama is an HR holding an, I can say, 17 plus year of experience in talent acquisition, policy building, HR analytics, and organizational transformation as well. I can say she is ISO certified internal auditor and specializes in culture building and change management as well. So we'll like to invite you on stage, Ms. Shama, for today. Yeah, thank you. Have a round of applause.
Here I have another name, Mr. Parth Shah. सबने एक्सिस बैंक का नाम सुना होगा. हम लोग कौन से रीजन में हैं? Yes. So, Mr. Parth is Regional Head West, Talent Acquisition, Axis Bank. He is innovative HR professional with expertise in talent acquisition, market intelligence, and strategic HR leadership. With double post graduation, sir, we share the same PG, double PG degree in HR, double degree in HR. And he combines academic knowledge with practical experience to implement effective strategies. And he excels in talent sourcing, assessment, and process optimization, committed to driving organizational success through HR excellence. And આ બધું છે ને મેં વાંચીને બોલ્યો, પણ આપણે ગુજ્જુ છીએ સાહેબ. Please come on the stage. Thank you so much. And Mr. Rahul Matta, due to some personal engagement, he is not able to come here. अब इन सब के लिए we need somebody, because this is going to be a panel discussion, and everyone, I mean, किसी को भी हम underestimate नहीं कर सकते. So we need a वकील. हाँ, वकालत का काम कैसा है? केस जीत गए तो फीस मिलेगी, वरना क्या मिलेगा? अपील. So I would like to invite our beloved friend Rutvij from HR Circle, and I think उनका introduction देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, जो लोग पिछली HR meet में थे, है ना? And we were all afraid like आज वो सही जा पाएगा कि नहीं घर पे. Arora, Diti Arora ma'am the, and few more people are there. So please Rutvij, आप अपना उद्दीपक का काम करने आ जाइए.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is enjoying and having fun, uh, getting all the knowledge that is required, which is presented on the panel, as well as people who have spoken. There is a combined knowledge of more than 80 years of human resource and talent acquisition present over here. So, I mean, I am glad and privileged to be in a power-packed panel where, you know, I'm looking at the landscape that has gone through 3 different generations and getting a privilege to learn a lot of things. So thank you very much for all of your time and efforts and what you do in the community. That is highly appreciated by each and every one of us, whoever knows you guys well, right? Beautiful introduction has been given to each and every one of yours, but apart from what it says in the title and what our LinkedIn page says, I want to know what ticks you. I want to know something different. So if you can give us, 1 or 2 liner about yourself, other than what we see on the LinkedIn profile or something that has been mentioned over and over and over again throughout our careers, I would truly appreciate that, and I'm pretty sure everybody will appreciate that. So please, we'll start with Parth Shah, please.
Hi. Hello. So, if Rutvij has asked me to introduce in a simple word, probably I can say adventurous. I really like to go for an adventures, like bungee jumping. One of my bucket list is I wanted to jump from the plane, which I would do probably whenever I get a time. But there are certain responsibilities which would be there, which is going to hold me back. But then I think there will be a time that we'll do it. But yeah, this is one thing that I really like to just express it as from the personal side.
Perfect. That works out pretty well. Bungee jumping it is.
Sure.
Arohi, please.
Thanks, Rutvij. First of all, thanks for setting this up and thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. Like the introduction said, I'm a chartered accountant. I've worked in multiple fields, including setting up my own manufacturing unit. And then throughout a phase of discovery, finally realized that at heart, I am much more of an HR. So whenever I meet somebody new, like I'm meeting a lot of people new today, I say that I have 0 Monday blues when I go to office to work every day. I love my job. And then what I do every single day is my passion and my motto in life is to just make sure that my workplace is such that it creates no Monday blues for anybody who comes to work there as well. So that's what I'm out to do. That's the change that I want to bring. And sir, what you said about career, care, clarity, compensation, all of that just truly encompasses that if you have all of these things, then it'll be a no Monday blues kind of place. Why should anybody feel like, oh no, Monday morning aa gaya, I have to go to work now. It should be like, yes, Monday morning, I can go to work now. Yeah. So that's a little insight into who I am professionally. Personally, whatever little time I get, I'll just enjoy running around and playing with my 2 young kids.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of tales about Oxygen Park. So yeah. Now, Ms. Kshama, please. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's so lovely to see you all, and thank you so much, HR Circle, for this opportunity to interact and meet so many of you, right? So, very interesting that talk about what's not mentioned in your LinkedIn. So, I was pleasantly surprised when I heard Sir speaking about Vaunandi, because that's something that I'm really close to. I don't know much about the Shastras and all, but I connect on a deeper level, considering that I have also been vegan for so many years of my life, giving up the dairy products because of the welfare of the animals, because it's not just how you see yourself as a person, but how much you respect another life that is there on the earth. So that is something I had taken up. I am consuming dairy to a very minimal, just because of the the reason that now it has set very deep into my heart that, it's about the respect that you have for other lives that are coexisting with you and you're not there to master them. So that's about me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Please, sir.
Namaste to sir, everyone. So it's privilege to be with you people. अच्छा लग रहा है और सबसे बड़ा जो पार्ट है संडे के दिन काम पे लगा दिया है मेरी बात हुई थी निशाद से कि संडे तो बेसिकली एक ही दिन मिलता है क्योंकि हमारा 6 days वर्किंग है और उस दिन भी अगर हम लोग कुछ करेंगे तो उसने एक ही चीज़ बोली थी कि ये हम सबके लिए कर रहे हैं. सो आई लाइक टू बी डू अ पार्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स जहाँ पर मैं कुछ हमारी तरफ से जो मेरा एक लर्निंग रहा है मैं आपके साथ शेयर कर सकूँ. सो मेरा अलग पैशन जो अपार्ट फ्रॉम जो जॉब है वो डेफिनेटली टू स्पेंड टाइम विद फ्रेंड्स, और ये जो मेरे प्रोफेशनल फ्रेंड्स नहीं हैं ये मेरे पर्सनल फ्रेंड्स हैं. सो आई लव टू बी स्पेंड टाइम अपार्ट फ्रॉम द प्रोफेशनल थिंग विद माई पर्सनल फ्रेंड्स. सो संडे इज़ ऑलवेज विद देम. बट ठीक है, आज आप भी हमारे साथ हैं. सो मैं सबको नहीं जानता हूँ बट आई एम गोइंग टू बी स्पेंड टाइम विद यू पीपल, और आप लोगों से बहुत कुछ लर्न करने वाला हूँ क्योंकि लर्निंग नेवर गोइंग टू बी स्टॉप. So thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So speaking of friends, what I'm noticing right now is every one of my friends, they are investing and trading every single day. 9 a.m., no matter what they are supposed to do, they are in front of TV or in front of their phone, at least checking how the market trend is going to be. And recently I came across a study from Goldman Sachs that two things they are implementing. They are rolling back on their work from home policy completely, as we had earlier spoken. And, another thing is they are introducing an AI model in collaboration with Microsoft to access the success rate of candidate. They are going into predictive model, which is happening in last 100 years for the first time in banking and financial sector. So that is a huge thing. It could be revolutionizing, it could be flop, nobody knows, but there is an effort going on in the market. Speaking of finance, Parth, I want to throw a question at you. First question will be, what are your thoughts on this study? And second of all, what conventional or unconventional approach Axis Bank is taking in place to hire smart?
So, if I have to talk about Axis hiring policy, we are keeping it very simple. Basically, because we all know in finance we have a lot of turnaround. There is a lot of attrition. People are just keep on moving from one place to another place and all that. So, what we have done is we have break it down into two categories. One, which is freshers, which we are train and hire them, and secondly, the lateral hirings. So 60% of the hiring that we do is on the basing on train and hire. So we have a lot of programs for the freshers. We encourage them, we go to the colleges, we go to the university, we encourage them to enroll for this program, which is probably starting from the as small as 7 days to 3 months of a program. And we ask them to go to the program, get themselves ready for the job, because everyone wants to get into the job, but the day zero, when the reality hits them, it's the reality. And everybody has to be ready for them. I think sir has mentioned that day, पहले 7 दिन जो होते हैं ना, उसमें अगर आपने किसी से बात नहीं किया ना, then we may lose that person. So that is also a reality, because not everyone will get the chance and opportunity कि आप join किया है और आपको पहले दिन पे सारी चीज़ों का पता चल जाएगा. So we prepare them, this is a day 0 to day 7. That entire program helped these candidates to be ready for the job. So that's one thing. We keep it very simple. That's how it is. In that training, we tell them, and we are very clear. ये आपका job role होगा. And we also show a day when you join, how your day will look like. There is a video for them that जैसे आप 9:30 को ऑफिस पहुंचोगे, आपको ब्रांच बैंक से क्या होगा, when you meet your manager, how it will go, when you meet some client, how it is. And we also prepare them for the rejections also, because majorly we hire for these freshers and they're going to be doing a lot of sales. And it's not going to turn around 100% success for them. So we also prepare them for the rejections also. And that is also equally important for them. So that's one thing. And we don't show any rosy pictures. कि आप Axis Bank join करोगे ना, आपका career, हाँ, you will have a career path. You will have everything. But then it's up to you that how you will be able to take the things out of it. We have the industry's best incentive in compared to all the other peer banks. But it's up to you that you wanted to take it or not. It is open platform for them. But how you going to take care of it? If you are interested, if you have an intent, you will get all the learnings, but then you have to prove yourself to get this thing done. So we keep it very simple. The job description, we tell them this is how it is. It's a reality. आपको market में जाके door to door, you'll have to meet lot of clients. पहले 100 client अगर आपने बना दिए, then you can expect that you will have your own circle and then you can make your business out of it. So that's one thing that we do it. We are very open, very clear. So day zero पे they don't get any shocker that ये कहाँ फंस गया मैं. So that's how it is. So training is something is very important, and that is how we do it. So that's answers, I guess, the one question.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now the second one. If you want to shed some light on it, such as, Goldman Sachs is trying to introduce the model of AI to predict the success rate of candidates who are hired freshly. So, I mean, do you have any thoughts on that? Do you think those kind of model?
Yeah, Ritwick has said something, the cultural as well as the skills fit. Addition to that, there is a hiring manager's mindset is also equally important. Who is hiring who? Because if the person, if I'm interviewing, if I'm a hiring manager, I will be looking at it that if this person is going to get along with me or not. If I'm going to ask him, if I'm going to be rely on this guy or not. There is probably a 5 to 10% will be there, but that 5 to 10% going to make or break thing. Even the guy is like, culturally fit or having a best skill. But if I'm not going to get along with this individual, probably I'm not going to select this person, even though, and that is across all the hiring managers. So it is equally important for that. So there will be a pattern, but that pattern will be individually, and it's going to be very difficult because what you're going to look for, what I may look for, is completely different. And I have a very good example for that as well. There was a sales guy that we wanted to hire. Was a good guy. One hiring manager rejected it. I said, okay. So we put it for the another hiring manager, got selected. And that guy got continuously 3 months top performer. So that's how it is. It's how you get along with your hiring manager or your reporting manager. That's going to help. And that's going to, so the pattern, it's going to be very difficult to judge upon that. So I'm not sure where we wish Goldman Sachs if they can do it, but I don't know. Because there is always going to be a human touch while we're selecting a candidate. So that's all it is. I mean, if anyone else has any other point of view on that.
Please. Please.
Yeah, so just to add to what you said, right? So AI can only help. It can only give us one more perspective or one more angle of the dissected data. That, okay, this is what the skill looks like, this is what the attitude and behavioral analysis looks like. But then to interpret that report finally and then to take a decision is always going to be the hands of the hiring manager and saying that, okay, this attitude is going to work for me and it didn't work for the first hiring manager while it might work for the other one. Yeah. So we have to treat AI as a tool that just enables and adds and helps to our decision-making capabilities rather than completely blindly just relying on it, okay, it has given it a yes or a no.
That makes sense.
Perfect. Well said. Thank you, Arohi. Thank you, Parth. Appreciate it. Now, moving to the similar industry which has a lot of churning and equal amount of stagnancy as well, which is a manufacturing industry, right? So I have recently read an article and study that one of the most European heavily industrialized country is Germany. And Germany has a beautiful program. They start their skill development in terms of apprenticeship. So if you want to start getting into manufacturing industry, you got to do apprenticeship of at least a year. And then you can start your work journey. So my question for Ravish ji is, do you think that kind of model could help India, which is at the moment in a little turmoil in terms of skill and will development? And what are the challenges, or how do you mitigate those challenges in order to hire smart? Please.
Yeah, Ritwick, the thing which you have put up, that Germany and they all are developed country, and we are developing country. And the very first part in India, the manufacturing always taken as a something different, but in end of the day, recruiting people, whether it's for manufacturing or whether it's for any of the segment of business, is a similar mindset we required. The mindset what we required from the HR side, the focus to be get trained HR team first. Unko karna kya hai, and how they themselves going to do the things rightly. So the way Rutvij say that there is a two hiring manager, one is recruiting, one is not recruiting. But again, how we have get trained our hiring team, what they're supposed to be do is fully going to be depend on them. Now coming back to the point of that you have put the apprenticeship and all the thing. We in India already have a skill development schemes running by the government. Apprentice is one of the act which is already very much in place, and that all the manufacturing industries are already using that part. But now somehow is depend on the particular industry, means the cultural they have, how they are using that part. We have many schemes, NAPs, NATs, which is going to be run by the government, in which government is giving money to the organization. They are giving financial benefit also to the organization, train the people, and that give them then opportunity to work with them. So we do have such schemes, we already existing in the system. Even though I was called previously by our Gujarat Skill Development Secretary also, so they want to run, say they are having their institutions, where they are having many, say ITIs and all. They basically inform us, okay, why not you giving them a complete on-job training along with the, say that your education time. So opportunity is very much is there. How we are using that opportunity is on to the our sector only. So apprenticeship, or whether give it is NAPs or NATs or any kind of name. So it's depend on the organizational recruitment or talent architect strategy, how much time we are giving to the people from the beginning of their career. And जो मेरा अभी भी कहना होता है, मेरे अपने एम्प्लॉई कौन हैं, जो हमारा जो फोकस है, हम किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में मेरा अपना कौन है. सो मेरे अपने वही होते हैं जिसको मैं डे 1 से सिखाना शुरू करता हूँ. सो the journey of this apprenticeship and this always going to be in benefit to the organization. अगर वो systematic approach के साथ, उसके career growth के साथ embedded की जाती है, तभी वो successful हो सकती है. और हमारे यहाँ पर हम उस model को अभी implement कर रहे हैं. From April onwards is going to be, क्योंकि मैं नया हूँ अभी हमारी इस industry में, so April onwards we are going to be have our own, मतलब मेरे अपने employees, जिनकी एक 3 years का journey plan हम लोगों ने किया है, जो ITI से और different colleges से continuation में वो जाएगा. It is going to be in benefit to the manufacturing sector, क्योंकि यहाँ पर skill का बहुत बड़ा gap है, competition बहुत high है. हमारी plants दहेज में है, मैं रिक्रूट एक करता हूँ, 2 जने जाने की तैयारी में होते हैं, क्योंकि वहाँ पर 5 नए प्लांट आ रहे हैं हमारे ही इंडस्ट्री के. सो दे ऑलवेज नीड अ ट्रेन पीपल, बट इन एंड ऑफ द डे देयर इज एवरीबडी इज नीड अ ट्रेन पीपल. सो वी जॉइंटली वर्किंग ऑन दैट. हम अपने कंप्यूटर से भी बात करेंगे, सर आप भी ये शुरू करिए जो मैंने किया है, जिससे हम लोग मेंटेन कर पाए. सो इज़ वेरी मच रिक्वायर्ड. सो हमको अप्रेंटिस चाहिए, बट स्किल्ड अप्रेंटिस चाहिए. और जैसा बोला गया था, यू हैज टोल्ड जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन होप ज़्यादा नहीं देनी है, सो होप ज़्यादा देने की ज़रूरत भी नहीं होती है. सो आई विल नॉट टेक इट लॉन्ग इन दैट वे कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर डिफ़िकल्ट नहीं है. ओनली द थिंग इज़ लाइक दैट कि यहाँ पर जो स्किल्स हैं वो स्किल प्रॉपरली यूज़ किया जाए, उनको रेगुलर बेसिस पे उनका ट्रेनिंग दिया जाए, उनको रेगुलर बेसिस पे इवेल्युएशन किया जाए. द वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग, अनकन्वेंशनल फीडबैक इज़ ऑनगोइंग एक्टिविटीज़ हैं जो लेना ज़रूरी है, और उन फीडबैक के बेसिस पे हमारे को इम्प्रूवमेंट रेगुलर बेसिस पे करते रहना है. सो ह्यूमन टच रिक्वायर्ड. AI is going to be do a benefit in terms of data analysis. AI is going to be do in terms of many other things. But in end of the day, HR का जो human touch है is going to be play a very major role in coming time. So this is from my end, and if anybody want to add on, that is okay from my side.
I think you have covered most of
Right. Now I want to change gears bit to, so hiring हमारा हो गया, right? उसके बाद आता है retention, right? Sometimes it's a make or break deal. It becomes a headache. Sometimes it's very easy. Netflix's recruitment team has a controversial tagline. We are not a family, we are a team. Right? That's very controversial statement in today's age. Arohi, I want to get your opinion on that tagline first of all. And second of all, a big headache for a company would be an early attrition. Because companies, when they hire people, they heavily invest in their future as well as their current cultural and skill fitment. So how do you address these challenges, or what is your opinion on that, please?
Sure, thank you. First of all, about the Netflix one, right, about the team. There was a book that was written on this one called The No Rules Rules. Fantastic read, by the way, if anybody is interested in culture. But the Netflix culture itself is all about high performance. It's not about taking everybody along the way. It's all about keeping the best players in the team and then doing the best work, and very, very high pressure situation. So why they say we are not a family, we are a team, they actually give a sports team analogy. And they say that in the most high performing cricket team, just say, okay, India cricket team is out to win the World Cup, for example, then you're not going to say, okay, chalo, ye bhi mera hai, isko thoda sa under performance hai, but chalo, isko bhi saath mein le lete, isko bhi le lete. No, you're going to choose the best of the best 11 players, right? So that's that whole team analogy. And they also have lots of different jargon called increasing the talent density, the keeper's test, right? Which is that every single person goes through a keeper's test. And they say, okay, if you and me are in a team, you will get asked, okay, would you want Arohi to be in your team if you were to form a new team? Or agar aapka answer no aaya, so there will be a deep dive into it, and probably I might get fired.
That is interesting, right? So do you think this kind of model could work in our society, in Indian society, and also shed some light on early attrition, which is one of the major thing. IT is very volatile sector, right? So sometimes people come in, they find it to be the best thing they could have gotten, or sometimes this is one of the worst things that they could have gotten. So how do you, and your journey is, stating that you have done startup to SMEs. So how your perception has changed, or how you have viewed it, and how do you tackle it?
Sure. So first of all, what is early attrition, right? So early attrition is defined as anybody who leaves within the first 3 to 6 months, or before even. Yes. People could leave within the 7 days also. But 6 months se pehle, it is still termed as an early attrition. So first of all, why does early attrition happen? It's because of a role mismatch, or an expectation mismatch, or a context mismatch, that they don't have the full context of what was expected from them. Getting into this, like the why of it, because we're in an extreme hurry to hire. Usually, 50 open positions, quickly filling up those 50 open positions, right? And we don't have the time, we just don't have the bandwidth to sit down and say, okay, these are the expectations. We'll give them the JD, we'll do a walkthrough, but again, a standard practice, right? So small thing what we actually introduced towards this when we started seeing early attrition in the first 3 months is at the end of each and every single interview, and we have 4 interview rounds, we'll keep an unlimited time period at the end of the interview for question and answer. So candidate gets to ask as many questions as they have on their mind. And here we trained the interview panel to say कि be as open, as candid, as transparent as you can. आपको कुछ भी sugar coat नहीं करना है, आपको कुछ भी ऐसे rosy picture नहीं दिखाना है. If things are going on, if you have to work till midnight, say that you're working till midnight. You want somebody who is committed to this kind of a culture. You don't want a candidate who is thinking, okay, I'll wrap up at 7 o'clock, But then the day they join, they are realizing, okay, this is an IT sector, they have to work with US clients, they will need to have a time overlap, right? So context setting right from the first interview itself. We introduced one more thing called as a context setting round itself. Okay, in that round, we'll start talking about what your day is going to look like every single day. And because we are 100% remote, we get a lot of candidates applications thinking कि भाई यार ये remote company है, we're going to chill, we're going to just do the work that gets assigned to us, we'll submit the work and then we'll go do our own thing, we don't need to be on the video call forever. But that's not how we work, right? We have lots of team building, we have lots of activities, we have lots of involvement that we ask from people, and it's a mindset shift. So we make sure that we take at least 10 different steps before the person gets hired to set this context very well. And we even send it to them in writing. So if you know about, again, like just in Netflix you quoted, Stripe is another company who has a very, very involved culture. So Stripe kya karta hai? Before sending out the offer, they'll send out a very detailed culture guide saying that this is the culture you're signing up for. ये इतना ownership आपको लगेगा, इतना collaboration. This is the way that you have to communicate, This is what is going to be expected, not from the deliverables, but from the cultural perspective. And that's what we started implementing. That's helped a lot.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well said, Arohi, thank you. Now, talking about culture, there is in IT, specifically in IT sector, Kshama, I have a question for you. So, IT has seen a revolution in past 7-8 years. That revolution, if we talk about it, it has taken our economy to the next level. So I'll give you a simple example. Purchasing power has increased significantly of an IT employee. Salaries have double, triple fold, right? Switches between companies have increased significantly, drastically. Some companies, so for talent, for IT companies, like, water, some have built a reservoir which doesn't move, some have built well-sustaining resource, and some just let it evaporate, right? But at the end of the day, do you think, does it have to do with the culture or the monetary aspect of it, or is there something else that guides every single scenario that is happening in IT industry?
So that's a very interesting question. Thank you. Now, when you look at IT, you have so many colleges of IT in India, right? There's no dearth of it. Sometimes seats khali bhi reh jati hai, right? So one thing is that there you have a huge pool of IT professionals, students available, but when it comes to the people who are logically, fundamentally, technically strong, that's where the pool shrinks very drastically, and most of the people want to hire from that pool, right? Because that's the targeted pool for most of the people. What happens is, let's talk about the technologies which are recently very much in demand, like AI/ML is there, then, or designations in terms of seniority, like tech leads, people manager, program managers. All these roles, people require very high level of IQ, and there are companies, if it would have been only about money, there are companies, there are multinationals who would just do away and give away the money and get the people in, right? But it's not always about the money that a company offers, right? There are small SMEs also who have retained people at a very senior level for more than 10 years, 15 years. Why, right? Because they're doing simple things right. If you see the entire HR, it's all about simplicity. How much you're making things simple for people, right? From the hiring process to making simple job descriptions, no jargons, nothing. What I tell, you listen. What you say, I listen. The more simple you make things, the easier that are for people to grasp and understand. They would love to work for you because they know that these people are clear. When there's a clarity, then only simplicity can exist. It's not other way around, right? When you know what needs to be done, That's where you'll work out solutions which are simple for people to adopt and adapt to, both the ways, right? So when an organization is able to retain such people, what do? They ensure that, right, Arohi mentioned that they set the context right, that what they'll expect, right? At Motadata, what do? Let's say if we have given out the offers, we have monthly celebrations and all those things happening. We call those people whom we've offered also, we call them to our office, come, talk to the people. We help them mingle with their team with whom they'll be working, right? So there are no jitters, right? 2 महीने का notice period है, let me gather 3 more offers and see कहाँ पे job करूँगा, right? We want to try and nip that at the bud, right? We want to call them to the office, get them see the office, get them see the people, get them talk to their managers, co-working people who will be working with them, right? In a good and also to a little bit controlled environment, because people are people, right? But we want to give that experience to the person who will be coming forward कि ये कैसा लगने वाला है. So you try and set an expectation in their mind that this is what it is going to be looking like. In our interviews, let's say, even I'm not, I'm not the hiring manager for the technical positions, but if I'm hiring for my team, I tell them that we do 5 days a week. It's a very flexible environment, no restrictions, but be ready to work hard, right? To the extent that, some days will be a burning midnight all, but we'll all do it together. You'll not be the alone one, huffing and puffing, will be there. But we set that expectations right in the place. So that way it helps them to build a context, right? Also, you give them an opportunity to see that what is their, what company they are coming from, what are their expectations, right? When we ask from an HR, we ask expectation, we ask money. Kitna chahiye? Itna hai, itna chahiye. And that's where the expectation stops. You have to ask them that what are their expectations when they join an organization. Are they looking for flexibility? Are they looking for money? Are they looking for a good team to work with who can understand and support, right? What are they looking for? For someone, it would be just money. For someone, it would be that, theek hai, I'll compromise on the money, but give me something that is like, if I have to pick up and drop my kid in between during the day, someone can understand my situation and help me that, right? Money will come and go, but this is the life situation I'm in. So you have to set the context, understand why they are joining, and then you have to give them the work for which they have hired for. For someone very senior, don't give them a work which is very mediocre for them, and someone who is very junior, don't give them work which is beyond their capabilities. That way, it will kill their engagement, right? Someone will get bored, someone will feel that this is too much, itne paise mein itna sara kaam karwa rahe, what is this, right? So you have to hit all the perspectives of the job, right? It's very simple. HR is one of the simplest tasks when you look at it, but very complicated because it, runs through the human emotions, right? So all these things, make things very much simpler also and complicated, but all these 3 points need to be taken care when you want someone to stay with you for reasons beyond money, right? So if any one of the panelists wants to add.
Just to add a few things, like Axis does not have a retention policy. We don't. If someone wants to leave, it's okay, fine, leave. But then we have an exit interview. We try to sit down and we just listen, like why you want to go. And then when we listen to it, we understand, like one of the example that she has given, that this is my current issue, that I wanted to go and pick up or drop my kid while there is a school. So, okay, fine. Do you think if you're going to go to any other company, will solve that issue? No, I can do that. So we try to mitigate those sort of things. And we try to understand the actual reason that why this person is leaving. Because in Axis, it's a very high pressure thing. You have to do sales. So, शाम को reporting मांगते हैं, पूछते हैं, कितना, क्या हुआ? What's your sales figure? सुबह को ही सब लोग शुरू हो जाते हैं on the call. आज तुम्हें इतना करना है, आज तुम्हें इतना करना है. And then in the middle of the day also, they just keep on calling कहाँ पर हो? Why are you doing? But then at the end of the day, as a manager, they have to give the sense of confidence as well. That why you are not able to achieve this today. So when you start understanding those small things and you give them a guidance and take them along with you, probably that will help the individual to get in confidence as well. So we don't have, as I said, we don't have a retention, but then we try to understand that why, and then we try to address that why. If somebody has a problem, like, मेरा manager मेरे से गाली बोल के बात करता है, yeah, okay, fine, you are into sales job. We understand, that's one thing. Then we speak to the manager, like, we also have a training for those managers also, who does not have the proper etiquettes to, like, deal with the team as well. But again, everyone has to understand, like, it's an organization ask. If you want to, like, we are at the 3rd largest bank right now, but banks thing is, like, we wanted to reach out to 2nd and 1st. So it comes from the top. So that's the whole organization structure that we have built it up. It's always about that. That has to be an understanding. We also have something which is called an IJPs. We promote our senior manager and above. All the positions opens for everybody. And we fill this internal from internal job pool only. We don't have external hiring from senior manager and above. So that is one thing. So we put out all this open thing for them. Someone says, like, mera shaadi ho raha hai. Okay, what do you want to go? Mera shaadi ho gaya, maybe I wanted to move to Surat. Okay, we have a job opening at Surat. We'll move there. So something like that. So these are all the small things that we do take care of it. And right question to ask when the person is leaving is what it is that you're looking for and why. And do you think that any other new organization will have this thing for you or not? That's the question that you have to ask.
So what we do a little differently, I mean, I understand it's a very people-intensive industry, right? Over here, when we want to try and retain the best people, what we do is that we have regular check-ins happening from time to time. That what are you aspiring for? What do you want to do, right? So that right from the time that people think that यहाँ पे कोई पूछता नहीं है, सुनता नहीं है, we want to try and make them feel heard and just get the feedback going and ensure that those people want to stay with us, right? So that's something that we do a little differently over here.
I mean, it was a very logical back and forth and very different spectrum of the Indian industry standards, right? One is at IT, which is seen as calm, composed, and relaxed. And on the other hand, it's a very fast-paced and very, quickly moving industry. No, I said it seems, right? It seems, when you get a crux of it, it's intense. I know it. But, the appearance is a little different. वो जो दिखाने के होते हैं ना वो थोड़ा different दिखता है तो लोग आ जाते हैं then they realize what have they gotten themselves into and it becomes chaos. Yes sir, you wanted to add something to it?
Yeah, there is a few interesting things which I want to share. So we start with Ritwick, that part, pre-boarding. The pre-boarding, so we never focus on retention and all the thing. We focus on stay on. So stay on is nothing. We should know a person is going to be resigned in advance. So we don't want, so for that, again, there is a way to do it. And this way to do it is start from the pre-boarding itself. The day we are hiring a person, the person should be get connected till he's onboarded. So I'm saying that whenever I'm taking a HR interview, मैं पूछता हूँ उनसे talent acquisition, they're patiently writing the talent acquisition and all. जब भी मैं उनसे पूछता हूँ what is this talent acquisition, and they start from recruitment and end for recruitment. So people are not, means talent acquisition is nothing, is a one kind of complete strategy in which we are planning a complete set of events which is started from the day we are taking the interview of the candidate. The things start from there itself. The offer candidate should be get engaged through pre-boarding, and then we have to maintain relation and have a regular feedback from the candidate by the talent acquisition team itself. Disconnect, which you also told, hired by somebody, entered by somebody. So again, this thing happened, but in end of the day, we should focus on stay on in terms of this. We have already implemented in my previous organization in Adani Wilmar that stay on, and that thing is happening very perfectly. So stay on to connect with the employee, and we should know before he is putting his resignation. Retaining an employee is the strategy, and आप सभी बता भी पाएंगे. The moment अगर मैं भी आज resign करूँगा तो मैं सबसे important आदमी हो जाता हूँ organization का. मतलब मेरे अलावा जैसे कोई important अब रहा ही नहीं है. और इतने साल जब मैंने काम किया उसके ऊपर कोई focus नहीं रहा. So हम लोग उस resignation के बाद वाले stage से better है कि we have to put our focus on stay on type of thing. In terms of that, we will remain connected with the people. और फर्स्ट एचआर मैनेजर उनका मैनेजर है, एचआर टीम में अपनी टीम का एचआर मैनेजर हूँ. सो आई एम एचआर मैनेजर फॉर माई टीम. द फर्स्ट एचआर मैनेजर इज़ द पर्सन टू whom they are reporting. सो ये कॉन्सेप्ट भी हमको डेवलप किया है जो हम लोग सक्सेसफुली चला रहे. द पर्सन हु इज़ द रिपोर्टिंग मैनेजर, ही इज़ द फर्स्ट एचआर मैनेजर. मैं एचआर कस्टोडियन हूँ, मैं एचआर फैसिलिटेटर हूँ. मेरा काम हर एम्प्लॉय के पास जाके उसको सेटिस्फाई करने का नहीं है. डेट इज़ हिज मैनेजर रोल टू डू इट. सो कुछ चीज़ें हैं जिसमें ये पार्टिसिपेशन सभी का होना ज़रूरी होता है. सो रिटेंशन, नाम बहुत अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन रिटेंशन को बनाने के लिए हम पॉलिसीज़ भी बनाते हैं, बट उसको मेंटेन करने के लिए हमारा जो होमवर्क होना चाहिए वो एक सबसे ज़रूरी पार्ट है. दैट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द डे वी हैव ऑफर्ड दैट कैंडिडेट इटसेल्फ. और उसका जो एक फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म है, अगर हमारे पास प्रॉपर फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म है सिस्टम में, तो चांसेस ऑफ एरर हमारे थोड़े कम हो जाते हैं. जाना तो है ही है, क्योंकि से जाना तो मेरे को भी है अगर मौका मिलेगा. सो इज़ ओके. But in end of the day, retention is nothing, is a one name we HR professional given, but how we are focusing on the things
that matters a lot.
Engaging the employee, not to become in a such situation कि वो surprisingly अचानक हमको पता पड़ रहा है. This is
very well said.
जो चीज़ एक में से simple, so हमको सिखाया भी गया है. कुछ हमारे veterans हैं, क्योंकि मेरी भी एज हो गई है और हमारे भी जो मेरे से जो बड़े हैं वो मेरे से नेचुरली और बड़े हो गए हैं. और जैसे ऋत्विक ने कुछ 3-4 चीज़ें कही जो मैंने उनसे देखी, मैं नाम नहीं लूँगा, सो आई एम ऑल्सो विल नॉट टेक देयर नेम, बट थिंग इज उन्होंने से सो यू हैव टू डू द थिंग्स सिंपली. सो कीप इट सिंपल, बट बिफोर कीप इट सिंपल यू हैव टू मेक इट सिंपल, क्योंकि आप सिंपल तभी रख पाएंगे जब आप उसको बना पाएंगे. सो यू हैव टू मेक इट सिंपल, कीप इट सिंपल एंड फाइनली डू इट सिंपल ऑल्सो. खाली रखने से और बनाने से उसको करना ज़रूरी है. अगर आप नहीं करेंगे तो फिर वो नहीं हो पाएगा. सो थैंक्स फॉर
Absolutely. I just want to make a quick announcement. Once this event is done, we have a lunch, and another thing is that you may have asked to ask your questions through Slendo. I forgot the name of the app, Slendo. Yeah. So please ask any questions you have over there, and if it exceeds the participants, you can like the question of someone if you feel this is a good question that can be asked. I want to ask one more thing to the entire panel, right? We talk about there is no such thing as retention per se, quote unquote, and as Rutvij had mentioned, early engagement. So McKinsey had a survey recently, couple of years back, that employees who are engaged 30 days pre-onboarded and up to 90 days, they are 76% more likely to stay for a longer period of time in the company, which gives them the clue of and the culture and each and every single idea of them. So I want to throw this question to the entire panel. What are your thoughts on it? How do you see, as you have just recently mentioned, stay interviews? So rather than exit interviews, how do you perceive the stay interviews, which you can, give to the employees, not to prepare them for an exit interview?
Yeah, just I will take first. The reason simple, people leave the bosses. Very simple. People leave the bosses, not the organization. And nobody has seen the organization, they have seen us as an organization. So I am representing my organization. So Meghmani is knowing to be known by my act. So people leave the bosses, not the organization. So again, the same thing come up. Stay on how to be, have a right question to be put them, 30 days, 90 days. These all are the studies are say that is good for industry wise or different, but in India context, things are very different. Our industry is very, very different. In our industry, things are go in very different way. So Kshama want to say something, please. First you take.
So I'll just add on to it, right? In HR, whatever you do, don't just do it because it is mandated to do. 30 days हो गया, उसको बुला लिया मीटिंग रूम में, क्वेश्चन आंसर पूछ लिया, बाहर निकाल दिया, दूसरे को बुलाया, तीसरे को बुलाया. Don't do that. Don't make what you do in your job as a tick mark activity. It's not going to serve the purpose, right? If you're doing it, do it with a purpose. Do it with a clear objective. Why are you doing it, and what want you to be an outcome of this, right? And who is doing it also, it matters. Let's say if I am doing it, I've been doing it for last 17 years, I'm trained to do it. If I leave it to any manager, it'll be like, क्या है यार ये HR ने बिठा दिया करके, क्या problem है बताओ, वरना फिर चलते हैं, you know. So the people need to be trained. So who is doing it has to be very right. Then only you'll get the answers that you're looking for. Otherwise, it will be just a formality that looks good in the PowerPoint presentation at the end of the year to the management, to the HODs, that we've done so many interviews. This is what has been there. But actually, those things does not count if the purpose and the objective are lost. So that's one thing from my end for sure.
To add to that, so stay interviews, right? While Kshama, you kind of took the words out of my mouth, because I keep telling my team that remember that human resources is first human. So bring back the human in human resources, because we have so many task lists that somebody like, okay, I'll prepare, but you have to do offer letter, then you have to do this, then there's such task list. Don't let that other person also become a task list on your day. You know, they are human, you are also human, connect with them on a human level. And when it comes to stay interviews, I mean, we don't call it stay interviews, but we just call it like regular one-on-one connects, check-ins. And our HR BPs, HR, everybody does like regular connects very, very often to just keep a pulse of the employees. But one thing that has really worked, and this is an actionable, quick thing that we could all do, is that read between the lines. Any feedback that you get in the stay interview, like a direct feedback, fine, but even if an indirect feedback, if you read something between the lines as well, document that and make sure that you action on it and close the loops on it, right? Because like Sir said, they don't see the organization, they don't leave the organization, they will leave the processes. So when they are trying to tell you something through a one-on-one connect or a stay interview, whatever you might call it, you know, employees are trying to convey something to you. Make sure that you are listening, active listening, not just ऐसे okay tick mark के लिए बैठ गए सुन लिया, but you are actually closing the loop on it. And when you do that, you're building trust with the employees. The entire employee base will start to slowly trust the organization. Because HR is finally, for them, it is representation of organization only, right? So how do you build trust? By gaining credibility. That okay, मैंने ये feedback दिया था. Okay, even if the company is not able to do it, then they are getting back to you. Okay, for this reason, it could be financial constraint, time constraint, this, that, whatever. But at least you're getting back to them. You're valuing their inputs enough. And you're making them seen and heard. Okay, your feedback actually mattered. So that is what will really stay with them. That feeling that, yes, I matter.
So in the continuation, whatever the Axis Bank is doing it, so some of the managers are taking proactive steps. So what they do is like, we have one of the initiative, what we call is a 3-day is equal to 3 months is equal to 3 years. So first 3 days, you'll have to settle down the new joiners. That will help that candidate to settle for 3 months. And once you settle the 3 months, that will go for the 3 years. And that's, after that 3 years, the cycle will keep on running. One of the cluster manager that he has started it, like, as you have mentioned, outside the organization, they have started organizing certain other activities. So, abhi Ahmedabad mein kafi box cricket shuru ho gaya hai, or pickleball or something like that. So he gathered all his team, like not talk about anything about the work, let's get all the frustration out on the cricket box. And then they play cricket. He booked the entire ground and he's like, okay, let's do it. So probably Sunday night or maybe a Saturday night or whenever everyone is available, they do this activity. And at the end of that, इस week में जो भी बंदे ने अच्छा perform किया है, they celebrate their victory as well. So these are all small gestures that they do. So उसमें पता चल जाता है, and then when they do this personal time out, they identified कौन ज़्यादा involve हुआ है इसमें से. अगर जो involve नहीं हुआ है, probably that person has something in his mind that यार मुझे continue नहीं करना है or something like that. So that जो proactiveness है, वहाँ पे पता चल जाता है. So this is something would help. जो outside activity करते हैं, probably we understand that this person is not involved in team activity or something like that.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll open up for Q&A. I'll hand it over to Nishad. Please, my friend.
take it over.
Thank you guys. So I have a list of questions from Slido, but before that happens, I'll add one personal question of my own, right? So I had the pleasure of working with some of the brightest minds in industry, and there's a very important task that HR has to do is called cross-functional team conflict resolution, right? So I'll share one example. While working with Mr. Ritwick on a project, we conflict, right? We bang heads. तो 25 लोगों को CC करके email डाल रहे एक दूसरे को. We are trying to, put it. Usual cases. And then we report to our super boss. मतलब हमारे boss के boss के boss. 2 layers up. We report it to our super boss. And he comes into Ahmedabad. He gets us into a room. And then he walks away. He's like, you both don't come out till you have resolved it. I'm not going to be the mediator. You come out after you have resolved. One of the things that I liked in that approach is that mature people should solve their problems that way, right? So the question I would very specifically ask to Parth and Ravish ji, that how do you take care of conflict resolution, and what is the role of HR into cross-functional, especially let's say 2 regional heads are colliding or the operations and maintenance people are fighting. What is the role of HR into that?
बहुत सिंपल है, make it simple, do it simple, keep it simple. We have to hear both the person. So अभी मैं भी एक नया ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, so मेरे को एक जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी गई है पहला, so break the silos. So क्रॉस फंक्शनल टीम को भी मेरे को ही ऑर्गेनाइज करना है, मेरे को ही उसको लीड आउट करके करना है. सो बेसिकली HR सॉफ्ट टारगेट भी हो जाता है कितनी बार कि जहाँ पर भी पीपल मैटर्स रिलेट करते हैं, सो वी आर डेफिनेटली रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट ऑल्सो, क्योंकि इन एंड ऑफ द डे पीपल्स आर देयर for that we people are keep to manage them. So any kind of conflict where we feel there is an intervention required in terms of whether it's operational issue or whether it's, say they are having different set of issue, working issue भी हो सकते हैं, process related issues भी हो सकते हैं, failure कुछ भी हो सकता है. So हमारा simple काम जो है वो यही है कि we have to hear both of them. If required, we have to involve couple of more stakeholders also to get things resolved. But वो resolution बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि communication कभी end नहीं होना चाहिए. जो हमको भी सिखाया गया है कि आप जिससे दुश्मनी भी करते हैं उसको बताओ मैं तुम्हारा दुश्मन हूँ, क्योंकि communication should not to be end. So we have to ensure that कि if such kind of things will come, we get both the party discuss with each other. एंड वी हैव टू हियर. तो हम रोज़ करते हैं, कभी मेरे को ईडी बुला लेता है और वो मेरे से अपनी बहुत सी चीज़ें बताता है और मेरे को सुनना है और मेरे को पता है वो मेरे काम की नहीं है. सो सिमिलर वे वी हैव टू बी अ गुड लिसनर. सो HR का जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट होता है वो होता है यू हैव टू बी अ वेरी वेरी गुड लिसनर. आपको सुनना ज़रूरी है. सो जैसा बोला भी गया है, 2 कान दिए गए हैं, सो सुनना तो पड़ेगा ही हमको.
आई थिंक दैट डिजर्व्स अ राउंड ऑफ अपलॉज.
पार्थ आपको बाकी है देना जवाब.
So as sir said, communication, that's the key. I've asked my team, like, आपको लड़ना है लड़ लो, मेरे को कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा. But before putting anything on documents or an email, पहले जो बंदे से लड़ना है ना, उससे फ़ोन पे बात करो. You talk to that person. Problem क्या है? Okay. Right now, recently we are also focusing on diversity. Sales में diversity डालना मतलब अलग task. But still, we are doing it, and we are getting success and the result out of it. But when we talk about the hiring managers, they don't want that. It's a change. It's like, मैं इनसे sales कैसे कराऊंगा? So they come up and like, no, this is not possible. I was like, okay, not possible. Give me a reason. Why? Again, in Access, we always been treated or told that ask right question. And when you ask a right question, you'll get an answer in that only. Because once they start giving their answer, and once you listen to them, you'll realize that this is not an actual problem. It is created problem. और मेरा organization का ask है. This is not my personal ask. This is not something मेरे boss ने मुझे बोला है. This is an organization ask. Are you going to be a hurdle in the organization ask? Like, नहीं. Then why? Again. So it's a simple thing. Like जैसा सर ने बोला, जितना चीज़ों को simple रखोगे, जितना communication आप open रखोगे, उतना easy है चीज़ों को solve करने के लिए. So that's it.
That's great. So in the answering your question, right, you picked up a very बोलते ना वो controversial point. ऋत्विज भाई आज भी घर सही सलामत पहुंचेंगे. So when we speak about diversity, right, so the question is coming in that, and I have one of the people asking that question also. A lot of organizations are scrapping their DEI initiatives now, right? You look at the Tesco's, Walmarts, even Amazon is now looking back, Toyota, Tesla, Microsoft. So they are now scrapping up their DEI initiatives. So this question comes to parallelly like to Kshama and Arohi, that how do we define? Do we want to be a diverse organization, or we want to create our own DEI initiatives? And if yes, what should be they?
All right. Before we answer that, let's think about what is diversity and why was the DEI initiative introduced. It's because the more diverse your team is, chalo, if you take a even team of 4 people, the more diverse that team of 4 people is, the better decisions they will be able to take. If everybody is, let's say from, okay, South Gujarat ka ek town, और सबको मतलब cricket में interest है, everybody watches Bollywood movies, everybody is the same person, essentially. मतलब, in terms of their upbringing, career choice, education, family, whatever, everything. So the more diverse backgrounds you have people from, the better decisions your team will be able to take. That's how DEI started. Okay. And then after that, it became this whole thing, okay, we need to also give opportunities to all kinds of people, and that's where the quotas started. And that's where the problems also started when quotas started. Right? Okay, you have a certain quota for a certain gender, you have quota for this, that, everything, different thing. But you forget the skill and will gap between these quotas as well. So essentially, DEI is great, but if you only if you don't forget all the other things around which it was built, that okay, you keep the performance bar the same for everybody you are hiring for DEI. You keep the hiring, firing bar, everything the same, okay? Then DEI will succeed, right? And don't look at DEI as only, okay, gender or caste or this religion or this or that. Look at it from a freshness of perspective as well. Look at it from different regionalities as well, right? So when we actually create teams, a practical example is because we have pan-India people working from everywhere across the country, we'll try and put somebody from north, somebody south, east, west, everything, just so that we can get different perspectives to the same problem. Everybody has a different culture, different upbringing, so you put DEI into the way that you can do DEI. You don't have to have quotas for that.
So my perspective on DEI is a little different, right? Don't do it for the sake of doing it because you're killing the concept, right? You have to have, like, from whatever I've spoken so far, have the right objectives in the place, right? Let's say for the sake of it, hiring, and one more thing that before we go ahead is that hiring DEI is easy, retaining and maintaining that is the toughest thing that you can do, right? It could be as simple as that. Let's say, I'll take example of Ahmedabad since we are here. We are a Gujarati company, okay? There's some Gujarati company. Most of the people are Gujaratis. Some meeting is going on. The communication starts from Hindi or English, and then in the spot of discussion, it goes to the Gujarati. So people who are non-Gujaratis, for them it is like, what the hell is happening, right? So that's where your diversity starts taking a hit, right? हायर तो आप कर लोगे, कोटा तो भर लोगे कैसे भी, पर उनको रखोगे कैसे आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, इफ़ यू डोंट टेक केयर ऑफ इट. सो इट्स अ वेरी सेंसिटिव एंड इट नीड्स अ लॉट ऑफ cultural, पूरा हिलाना पड़ता है अंदर से to just to get people accept those differences also. It's a very small example that I've quoted. It can go to very large extent as well, right? People sideline those people also that isko pata nahi chalega. If we'll go for some play or Gujarati movie or something, he'll not understand. Let's not bother to call him also, her also, whatever. So, before you get into those initiatives, they are good. And that's why the most of the companies are scraping it also, because they're not able to sustain them. To bring in something in HR, something fancy, is easy. To sustain it, to maintain it, to get your organization get ready to accept it, that's the toughest part of HR, right? And that's why it's not working out for most of the companies.
That sums up it pretty brilliantly. I like the word when both of you, concurred on this, that don't do it for the sake of doing it, right? So that was a great one. So, like, see, DEI is something we all listen here. हमको लगता है ये अभी fresh concept है. But 12 years back down the line, I had the pleasure of listening to Dr. Vidyut Joshi, who is the pioneer of Jyotigram Yojana in Gujarat. And he is the guy whose brains have ensured that Gujarat mein across every village, ghar ghar bijli hai aaj. So I had the pleasure of listening to him at one of the conclaves, and he said it very nicely. Well, diversity is something which is not a fancy term, it's a requirement. अगर तुम्हें तुम्हारा पावर प्लांट दिवाली के दिन बंद नहीं चाहिए तो हायर पीपल फ्रॉम अ स्पेसिफिक कास्ट, नहीं तो दिवाली के दिन प्लांट बंद करना पड़ेगा. बोले अगर तुम्हें तुम्हारे रास्ते का काम बंद नहीं करना है होली के टाइम पे, जब सारे राजस्थानी लोग छुट्टी पे जाएंगे तो थोड़े कन्नड़ भाषी वर्कर्स भी लेके आ जाओ कि वो सब एक साथ में छुट्टी नहीं लेंगे. अ वेरी बेसिक ट्रू राइट विजन. एंड सो दिस इज डाइवर्सिटी. एंड आई मीन वी इंडियंस आर डाइवर्स बाई नेचर, वेरी बेसिकली डाइवर्स है हम लोग, मतलब इतना नहीं होता. सो व्हाट यू सेड ना गुजराती वाला, दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम आई फेस विद वन ऑफ माई कलीग्स हुज हियर. आई एम अ गुजराती, वन ऑफ माई क्लाइंट इज ऑल्सो गुजराती. हम बात कर रहे हैं, ही इज सिटिंग, ही स्टैंडिंग नेक्स्ट टू मी, फिर वो पैर पे पैर डाल के बोल रहा है भाई आई एम हियर, मुझे समझाओ, काम इवेंचुअली मुझे करना है. सो आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट, बट जोक्स अपार्ट, व्हेन यू अगेन नोटेड द पॉइंट ऑन दैट राइट, दैट diversity should be of thought. That's the primary. DEI, diversity should be of thought. The secondaries to that are gender, religion, region, etc. Because that add to your thought process. So when you said that we are making a team of 3-4 people, I had the pleasure of working with a startup and report directly to the CHRO. So they were planning the policy of a menstrual leave policy. I was made a part of that committee. So I asked the CHRO, ma'am, आप menstrual leave policy बना रहे हो, what will I do in that committee? You are putting me in that committee, but why? She's like, this is what diversity is, right? And second is you are a good Jew. So I understood the first part. What's there in the second part? And then she explained me that we have seen you working. Gujaratis are basically frugal by nature. So you will also look at how much that by giving leaves, what is the productivity dip that we'll face. So we want somebody to capture that data also. Okay, so I think we are good on time. We had an amazing panel. But there's one more question that has been asked by Neha Sharma, and I kind of believed it was a brilliant question. So I'll extend it for some time, but we'll have that question. That question is that, isn't the culture fit check value very underrated? The candidate value system is underrated, right? This is an open question for everybody. So how do we ensure that while we are checking the candidates for a culture fit, that value system of the candidate is also evaluated? It should not be that कि ये अपने साथ match नहीं होगा, शायद अपनी values भी कुछ ऊपर नीचे हो सकती है, right? So how do we go about it? It's an open question. Anybody can pick it up.
से cultural fit again jargon है. जब हमारे इंटरव्यू लिए जाते हैं तो उसका लेने वाला ही ट्रेन नहीं है, और HR का जो मेजर पार्ट होता है, क्योंकि हमेशा ये क्वेश्चन उठता है कि वाई HR इज टेकिंग इंटरव्यू ऑफ द टेक्निकल और फंक्शनल कैंडिडेट. सो दैट इज़ द वे. सो HR का ही एक मेजर रोल है टू नो द पर्सन कल्चरली इज गोइंग टू बी फिट द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑन दैट. सो कल्चरल फिट की जो प्राइम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है वो HR के पास इसलिए आ जाती है क्योंकि वी आर द पर्सन हु सीइंग एवरीवन अनबायसली. सो हम जब किसी भी एम्प्लॉई को रिक्रूट कर रहे होते हैं कल्चरल फिट के लिए, अगर हम बात करते हैं, तो सबसे पहले हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का जो कल्चरल जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वो एक वेग थॉट प्रोसेस होता है. देयर इज से दैट कल्चरल फिट वी आर लिसनिंग सिंस लॉन्ग टाइम, बट कल्चरल फिट कुछ नहीं होता है. अगेन आई टोल्ड यू, पीपल लीव द बॉसेस. सो कल्चरल फिट वो जिस पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट में और जिस पर्सन के अंडर में काम करने जा रहा है, हमको ये पहले प्रायोरिटी में ये देखना है उसके साथ.
आप ये कह रहे हो कि चेक ये करेंगे कि भाई इसके साथ जमेगा या नहीं?
नहीं, वो उस पर्टिकुलर के लिए. सो वी हैव टू बी एंश्योर दैट द फंक्शन द पर्सन इज गोइंग टू बी वर्क, वो उसके साथ फिट होने वाला है कि नहीं. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का कल्चर तो हम फिट कर देंगे बाद में.
आई थिंक आई सॉ इट. You wanted to respond to this? Parth.
I want to add couple of points on this one, right? बिल्कुल सही बात है. अल्टीमेटली वो काम किसके साथ करेगा, दैट इज द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज क्वाइट डाइवर्स, राइट? इसमें जैसे कोई भी कंपनी, उसमें HR भी है, ऑपरेशंस भी है, सप्लाई चेन भी है, मेंटेनेंस भी है, अलग अलग काम है. बट इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू सी वेयर दिस पर्सन इज गोइंग टू लैंड, एंड दैट इज वेयर द होमवर्क ऑफ HR कम्स इन टू पिक्चर. whether they know that team. If they don't know that team, then who knows that team, right? That is how if we strategize the hiring, the dropouts will be very less, and the results will be seen. So it's about the team, not the company culture.
Yeah. So the micro culture is something that you need to understand, subcultures and the micro cultures as well, right? And that's where the real beauty of the entire HR comes into the picture, that how much do you know your people who are already existing with you? Forget about the one who will come, right? You need to know the current set of the people, how they are, what they are doing, and what are their preferences. And then accordingly only you'll be able to judge someone. Otherwise it's just gonna be a mismatch.
Okay, I was looking at you. You wanted to answer this question, so.
I think everyone has covered it.
Covered it?
Yeah,
That's great.
I'd like to add a little small thing. So, this is my personal view. Cultural fit is subjective, very subjective. So, let's say for an example, if there is an opening in administration team, the candidate would be evaluated differently on the cultural aspect. Does he have mindset of administration or does he have mindset of deliverables? Let's say suppose opening in operations team, then there is a different scenario. HR, different scenario. So there is no definitive cultural definition for any organization. That's what my belief is.
Yeah, so I think it's yes, so it's more like, that when you are hiring a commander for your army, you have to check we are in a wartime or we are in a peacetime. Because peacetime commanders would differ from what wartime commanders would do. I think thank you guys for being a wonderful panel. A big round of applause for the panel. And I'll hand it over to Mausam bhai.
Thank you, Dost. It was actually a wonderful discussion, and I missed a small part, but it is really interesting, like when it came to culture. So I had one question. One of my friend asked me, "Sir, you are working as HRO somewhere. So is culture in your company is steady?" मैंने बोला भाई मैं तो 3 महीने से ज्वाइन हुआ हूँ, 3 महीने में मैं देख रहा हूँ कि इट इज़ चेंजिंग. So if somebody can guide me, is culture steady idea in a company? Huh? It is not all about like are we recruiting a special category of people or a certain department. I believe the fixed culture is to have profitability. Am I right? So otherwise, is culture steady or ever changing? Sir, आप शायद बता पाएंगे. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
See, what I see is that the values of the organizations needs to be steady. Your values cannot be shifting, right? Cultural will go a little bit up and down based on, let's say, some new technology, some new place that you're opening up your organization section, something like that, right? Your values have to be core that will shape the culture. A little bit difference here and there will always be there. You cannot have, it's not like something very subjective that it has to be same across the board, A to Z in line. It will be a little bit up and down, but till the time your values are upheld, you are on track, with your mission or whatever your annual goals are. I think culture will set into the picture, but your values have to be very strong.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So culture is what? It's how people in the organization behave, right? Behavior when the organization is really small, under 100 people, will differ, versus when it is a 500 people organization will also differ. So while it is easy to pinpoint and say ke at 100 people, this is the culture, everybody's taking a lot of ownership, lot of collaboration, this, that, startup mindset is there. At 500, when you see the same organization, the culture would have changed. Yeah. And it would have been a noticeable change at that point in time. But from the journey from here to here, the culture would have shifted very slowly, every single bit of it. So, there's a saying, right, that there was a ship, and ship was in repairs, right? So this ship was called whatever, Elizabeth. But they started to change one board, one screw, this, that. At what point does this ship itself become a different ship? The ship still was called Elizabeth only, but pura uska everything had changed. So at some point, things will change. Things are bound to change, I think. but it's a very, very slow process.
Yes. Thank you so much. It was indeed enlightening. This is a time to felicitate our panelists. So I would like Bhavna to start with, and all panelists please be on the stage, and one by one we will be calling people. Please.
Okay, so first of all, we'll felicitate Mr. Ravish. I'd like to add Mr. Dr. Rajiv Gupta to felicitate Mr. Ravish. And Mr. Deepak Bhatt as well to represent AMA. Mr. Deepak Bhatt, please. Yeah, have a round of applause.
Please.
Please have a round of applause.
Yes. Mr. Deepak, please, to Mr. Ravish. Please, तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए. The entire event will be followed by lunch, as Rutvij has already told you. Next, we would like to take opportunity to felicitate Ms. Kshama. I would like to invite Dr. Binita Shah and please Mr. Bhatt, Deepak Bhatt, sir, please आप भी आ जाइए, and for AMA will be, please come, please, sir आइए.
So now we have Mr. Parth, please come on stage, and we have Mr. Dr. Viral Bhatt, who will felicitate.
Dr. Viral Bhatt, Director, Karnavati University.
Yeah, okay. And again, Mr. Deepak Bhatt will invite you as well. Please come this way, please. Parth, please come this way in middle.
फोटोग्राफर भैया बोलो सेंटर में आए. Thank you so much. Now
I think people are hungry. There are no, I could not hear the sound of the claps. So, yeah.
आपने शेर देखा है कभी? आज अपने स्टेज के ऊपर दिख रहा है? He is Rutvij. He is from Smart Lion. Now I should tell everyone that he is from Smart Lion. He is operation and delivery head, and he is not only lion, he is a smart lion. Next, we would like to take opportunity to felicitate Miss Arohi, and I would like to invite Miss Nehal Jani. Please, ma'am. And Mr. Deepak Bhatt, on behalf of again AMS, sir, we are troubling a lot of time to you, but please.
Okay, so let's call now our smart shade to felicitate him. I'll request Mr. Devang to be here. And again, Mr. Deepak Bhatt will invite you as well. So we'll request you to take down your places. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, okay, group photo. Yes, Ritwick, yeah. Yeah, Lord, I can say round of applause, of course.
Can I request one thing?
Yes.
Yes.
The photographer, please. एक फोटो दे दीजिए ना साथ में बंदी का. हाँ हाँ.
Okay.
Let me take an opportunity to take. Yeah. All, everyone, please. Yeah.
Okay, we'll invite you as well. Mr. Bajaj, please be on stage. Yes. Yes, yes, we have. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, huge round of applause. Yeah, please.
Businessman को chance मार लिया मैंने.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure scenario on the stage. So, सारे HR सभी next week क्या प्लान कर रहे हैं? एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंगेजमेंटी कुछ एंगेजमेंट कुछ कर रहे हैं? 8 तारीख को कुछ है? नारी शक्ति? I tell you, where I was working, we tried to set up one cell, man harassment prevention cell. I was the coordinator. Anyway, so looking at the upcoming Women's Day, we would like to take opportunity to felicitate our all sponsors within Nari Shakti only. So one by one, we'll call our sponsors and supporters. So first we start with PDEU. Team PDEU is available. Yes, please, because everyone, please, those who are from PDEU, everyone, please come on the stage. And that Nari Shakti will be from our HR circle team. So I would like to invite Monica from HR circle. Please, Monica, felicitate PDEU with the memento. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. The next is, क्या नाम लूँ मैं, मतलब मैं वाव बोलूँ या महेंद्र सर बोलूँ या बजाज जी बोलूँ? So please, sir, come on the stage with entire your team. Yes, please. Please, whole team. Team Wow.
So, let me introduce my son, Sandesh Bajaj. He is taking care of complete Bhavanandi.
That's great.
He is the main instrumental, and my daughter, she is 24 years.
Okay.
My daughter and my son are taking care of complete Bhavanandi. The young
Yeah.
chef studies from.
So I would like to call Aditi from our HR circle team. Please, Aditi.
Thank you very much.
Tankha Patra. Do we have Tankha Patra team here? Salary slip. A beautiful name, really indeed. Tankha Patra team, please have on the stage. So I would like to call Shimoli is available from our team. Okay. So Shruti is here. Shruti Panch, please. When people work in back end, they get surprised when they are cold in front end. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. The next one is Smart Lion. Team Smart Lion. The bigger team with a big man, please. Please, I mean, आप स्टेज के सेंटर में आइए, please everyone. निकेत भाई, आज वॉलंटियर्स आपके इतने, तो आपका पूरा टीम कितने साइज का है सर? Yes. 45. Okay. So I'll call Rakshita to felicitate. तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए. शेर ऑलरेडी भूखा है. जब तक तेरे हाथ चलेंगे तब तक तेरी सांस चलेगी. So the next, last but not least, the main supporter, our team AMA. Team AMA, please come on the stage. I would like to request my colleague Bhavna from HR Circle to up जाइए. सर ने एक स्पेशल थैंक्स भेजा है. भाई आपका नाम क्या है फोटोग्राफर भाई? जय. अ स्पेशल थैंक्स टू यू, सर ने बोला है. एंड जब थैंक्स की बात आई ही है, थोड़ी भूख भले ही लगी है, तो थोड़े पहले दिल की भूख मिटा लेते. आई वुड लाइक टू कॉल अनंत फ्रॉम आवर टीम फॉर वोट ऑफ थैंक्स. थैंक यू सो मच अनंत.
Good afternoon, everyone. As a HR professional, based on our years of experience, we always think that we know a lot. It's opportunities like these, gatherings like these, which make us have aspirations to know more and do more. And that's exactly what this first half of this wonderful Sunday has been. So on this occasion, I would just like to thank a few people without whom this would not have been possible. Starting with PDEU. So the PDEU team, thank you so much for your wonderful support. So Dr. Gupta, Mr. Lalwani and team, thank you so much. AMA, Deepak sir, without your and your team's wonderful support, this would not have been possible. Wow Nandi, Bajaj ji, thank you so much for your support. Smart Lion, Niket Pujara and his wonderful team. So, about the Smart Lion team, since they have also played a part in organizing this. So when it comes to Niket bhai, during our discussions we always give ideas. Some ideas may be adventurous, some ideas may lack adventure, but his standard response is हो जाएगा. So having someone like this team for support is amazing. And of course, Tankhwa Patra, Mr. Raj Mehta and Mr. Nishchay Mehta and team, thank you so much for your support in this event. And I would also like to, acknowledge and thank some of our past speakers who have joined us today. So, Dr. Viral Bhatt from Karnataka University, sir, thank you so much. Ms. Nehal Jani from Spaco Technologies, thank you. Mr. Nishit Parikh from Jyoti CNC, sir, thank you so much. Dr. Ajay from BK. And of course, Ms. Dipti Arora from Mastech. So these have been some of our past speakers, so thank you so much. And before we call it a day and head it for lunch, I would just like to invite Devang Pandya for his closing remarks for today.
Good afternoon, everyone. I understand I'm between your lunch, so good afternoon again. Better. Thank you. So normally I take this closing remarks. I always have one request, and majority those who are attending regularly, they know it, that I always say in end that please give a shout out to HR Circle, the amazing speaker on LinkedIn especially. So I'll again request the same. They'll be available over here if you want to click pictures with them. Please, they'll not hesitate. We want to give them celebrity feeling, so please do that. Addition to that, actually I purposefully asked Anand not to use those lines because I wanted to say that. So my amazing team. So I'll tell you the story behind that. I mean, we have organized 4 webinars so far, 2 small meetups, 2 big synergy meet like this, and we call it synergy meet because we wanted to have that synergy across the people. So we have done that in past. Last synergy meet, Mausam Bhai was moving out from LJ and he wanted me to do that. And I was occupied in so many things. I was delaying it. He was after me from Diwali, and we actually did it in December. So I felt that though I want to do a community services, I wanted to give it back to the fraternity, but I'm not the only guy who could do it alone. So that's the reason during the last meetup, we float that whoever are willing to contribute as volunteer, please join us. And believe me, tremendous feedback, or rather I would say tremendous response I got. Almost 80% of the registered people said yes. But then accommodating all of them, I mean 200 plus people as a volunteer is again a task. So to start with, we added couple of people, and that couple of people is around 30 people who are actually behind all this tamjam you are seeing today. Huge round of applause for task force team. Many of them are here, few of them due to their social responsibilities, commitments, they couldn't join in, but then all have played their responsibility. Those who were not available due to their health issues, still they've contributed in one or other way, right? So again, I would like to thank all of you, and for that token of appreciation, thanks to Wow Nandi, we have a gift for all of them. And I'll request our speaker to do that honor. I'll call the name. I mean, Rutvij, if you can come, Ritwick, if you can come on stage, and my team, because I'll not call a name, rather I wish that all come together. Yash from behind, I mean people who are in back, Rohit, all of you, please come forward, and please let's honor them. Let's appreciate their support, and